Facebook is back. We're fine. Everybody relax. You can now go back to looking at the baby pictures of your friends whose babies you kind of think are ugly, but you're not going to tell them that. You can go back to posting Instagram photos of your dinner that literally nobody on planet Earth cares about it except you. You can go back to posting news sources that are completely factually inaccurate, but hey, they confirm what you already believe. Social media is back, baby. What a day. What a day. Welcome in, folks. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio, 3 minutes after noon, right here on ESPN Upstate, 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, all around the world on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Put that on all your digital devices. And make sure you don't miss a moment of broadcasting, no matter when and where we're on the air. We bring it to you on the Odyssey app. I am Rob Brown, directly across the glass, both metaphorically and literally from me. He is the great one, hashtag Dad Kicks, Colonel Grudge, the pinnacle of professionalism, the alpha and the omega of ESPN Upstate, the content cash cow. He is Lonzo. Zoe, I know yesterday, like 12 new gray hairs when Facebook went down from Lonzo. He was just absolutely distraught.
I don't have gray hair. I have white hair, and that's fine. I will point out, much like how water will erode rock over time, every time you tap that glass is one step closer to that thing shattering. I know it's plexiglass, but still. You're hitting it a little bit hard to make sure that it's heard over the microphone.
If I ever shatter this glass.
I thought you were going to start singing I Will Always Love You, because you hesitated. There was just for a second.
That's Celine, right?
No.
It's not? No, it's Whitney.
It's
Barbra Streisand.
No, it's actually Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton, that's right. Oh, and I quit. I'm leaving the show.
It's okay. It's all right. You can come back because not a lot of people knew that Dolly Parton wrote that song and originally sang it.
I actually did know that. I don't know why, but it's one of those things that you hear it and you're like, damn, I knew that. Come on, me. Come on. I'm embarrassed. I would like to take a minute to apologize both personally and professionally to my friends, family, and loved ones. It was a stupid situation. I have should not have put myself into it. I was a distraction to my team, a distraction to the fans. I sincerely apologize, and I will work diligently to earn back your respect and trust from this moment moving forward.
You forgot to start with, if I
have upset you
or offended anyone. I've offended anyone.
Texas says, what about our Facebook stream? The Facebook stream is up, but we're 3 minutes in and it's telling me nobody's watching. And that literally never happens. And I know that it's false because I have our stream pulled up on Facebook and it's there. I'm looking at me in my beautiful magenta shirt today. And it's telling me
that's magenta.
That's magenta.
Are you sure?
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, if we put it up against a color swatch from Lowe's or something, it'll say magenta. Okay.
Do you think I didn't look this up when I bought this shirt? Come on, man.
Actually, I think you probably did look it up when you bought that shirt.
100%. I'm a weirdo. Keegan's in the chat room. Steven's in the chat room. So I don't know why it's telling me that we have 0 viewers, but the Facebook stream.
Yeah, I'm seeing 0 too. Fake news.
Fake news. Hashtag fake
news.
See, social media was gone for a day and the world fell apart. Go to ESPN Upstate, Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. The stream is live. You can also go to Twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, Twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show. And you can go to YouTube and search The Rob Brown Show there.
I was bragging on our streaming folks today. So where are you at? I absolutely was bragging on you today.
We need you, people. We need you.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
we got a lot of stuff to get into today, a lot of stuff to talk about on the broadcast today. Should you want to be a part of the show, the phone line is open for you, 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. We've had 3 people already text about the stream. The stream's up, folks. I'm looking at it. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. And it is on Twitter as well. YouTube, search The Rob Brown Show. Subscribe to my channel there, and you will be notified every time that we go live. Click the subscribe button. Oh, I've never gotten to do this, Lonzo. Hey, what up? It's your boy Rob Brown coming to you live right here on YouTube to talk some sports. Do me a favor, before we get this video started, smash that like button, smash that bell button to be notified about the most recent, up-to-date, and best sports talk radio content in South Carolina. Appreciate the follow. Let's get to the video.
You were good, except for you struggle with notified. But, other than that, everything was great.
Go to search the Rob Brown Show channel on YouTube and click the follow, subscribe, and notify buttons. And it'll alert you when a stream goes live every day. Go to facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. Go to twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show. Ordinarily, it's on twitter.com/ESPN Upstate, but we had a little reset with the StreamYard today. So it kind of messed everything up. But we are there. We are live, and we are rocking and rolling. That being said, we've got 1.5 billion things to talk about today. So let's get the show started.
Let's do lunch.
This is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
It is the lunch breakdown of 3 things you have to know before you start talking sports, friends, family. No, sports with your friends, family, coworkers of the dog, whoever. I haven't done that in a week and a half. I got out of rhythm, man. It's all about timing. It's all about timing. It's a game of inches.
Or
people.
if you're urban stuff kind of twisted, you don't know. Anyway.
Somebody texted. Somebody texted the offsides yesterday. I'm filling in for Diesel yesterday, today, and tomorrow on offsides. And somebody texted the show yesterday. Urban Meyer, feels like it's 4th and long. Young blonde girl at the bar. Nope, feels like it's 4th and short, coach. I
apologize for opening up that can of worms.
You think the continued follow of that's not on the show prep already? Are you kidding me? You think I already don't have a segment about that planned? Come on, man.
Who takes great joy in anything that's negative towards Urban Meyer with talk.
Absolutely, it's me. Item number 1 on the lunch breakdown, the 3 things you have to know before you go talking sports with your friends, family, coworkers of the dog on your lunch break today. Item numero uno, the Major League Baseball playoffs begin today. It's October, baby. Means it's time for baseball. And the AL wild card is going to get us started tonight in the American League. It is a battle at Fenway Park. Red Sox going to win tonight, Alonzo. I left a little good luck there in the stadium.
You know what? You know where you can hear that particular game?
May I venture a guess? Would it be right here on ESPN Upstate?
Right here on ESPN Upstate tonight.
Well,
after Offsides with Mark Ryan, yeah.
I'll be dadgummed. 7:00. We start coverage of Boston and the New York Yankees, huh?
If you were actually dadgummed, would you need to go to the doctor? I'm just curious.
You just worked a dad joke with the word dad in it. How about that? Dadception from #DadKicks.
Wait, I thought it was DAG. Okay.
It's DADGUMMED. Dadgummed. That's a Bowdenism if there ever was one.
I am not looking it up because who knows what would pop up if I did that. Maybe a picture of Urban Meyer.
Some websites that are not safe for work, I believe, might happen. Boston Red Sox 92-70 on the year and not a favorite to make it to the World Series out of the American League. They are not even a favorite in this series. The Yankees certainly have gotten the best of the Red Sox. Swept them in their series last week, including that game that I was at Fenway Park. Swept them. And look, the pitching for the Red Sox is not good. Worst runs against average and highest OPS allowed of any postseason club. Boston's success during the regular season has been because they put runners on the bags and score with them. Only 25% of outings a quarter of the games for Boston resulted in a quality start from the rotation. Chris Sale has returned to action, but that trend stayed relatively consistent for the Red Sox all year long, which puts a lot of pressure on the Boston bullpen, which has been good, but also has been torn up with a lot of changes recently. The challenge for Alex Cora will be to find the right arm at the right time, and he has been hitting on that at, again, about a 25 to 35% clip, but we will see what happens. The good news for the Red Sox is that Nathan Eovaldi is going to be on the hill tonight. Chris Sale has been fine since returning from Tommy John surgery, but has only been going about 90 to 95 pitches a game, so he can't go as deep into games as you would like out of your ace. Eovaldi can carry a heavier workload, and in playoff scenarios has been known, as he did back in 2018, to pitch on short rest. He has turned into a strike-throwing machine, has not given up many home runs this year. On the flip side, the New York Yankees, who are the favorites in this one-game series tonight, but not by much. ESPN with a 54% possibility of winning this game. So it's mostly a coin flip in this year. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton have both been white hot for the Yanks, and both of them are entering the playoffs on a roll. Since the middle of August, both Stanton and Judge ranked 3rd and 4th in OPS amongst AL hitters. They rank amongst the top 3 in RBIs over that same span, and both have OPS'd over 1 with runners in scoring position. The question mark is going to be not so much about the Red Sox, because most of the experts are picking the Yankees to be carried into round number 2, but then they run up against the buzzsaw. They run up against the Tampa Rays, which is bad news for a New York offense that has a white-hot spot in the middle with Judge and Stanton, but has been incredibly inconsistent. They rarely put together 7-game stretches where the offense is consistently good, and the Rays have. So we're going to see how this plays out. But the MLB playoffs start tonight. AL wildcard game. Yankees, Red Sox, Fenway Park. There's not a better rivalry in baseball than those two teams getting together in October. The Red Sox, courtesy of winning the AL East by winning the AL wildcard spot and hanging out just a full game within the Yankees, will be hosting this game. We'll talk about that and break down the rest of the MLB playoffs later on in the show. Item number 2 on your lunch breakdown today, NASCAR. I don't know. I don't have to say everything in a Boston accent. Rob, you were there for 3 days. Chill. My bad. NASCAR runs yesterday at Talladega. That race, the Yellowwood 500, was slated to be run on Sunday, but it rained. So they ran it on Monday, and spoiler alert, it rained again. So the race was shortened, and Bubba Wallace was in the lead. They ended up giving it a few minutes to see if they could dry off the track and get the cars running again, but the rain just would not stop coming, so they called it a day. 45 minutes after Wallace took the lead, the sky opened. He sat in the rain, hoping, wishing, praying that NASCAR would call off the race, and they did. Bubba Wallace becomes just the second African-American to win a NASCAR Cup Series race in history. Yesterday, he looked good doing it. Once he got the opportunity to jump out to the front, he stayed there for the most part. NASCAR officials said that it was a moment in history for NASCAR, the first black driver to win at the top level of the Elite Stock Car Series since Wendell Scott did it way back in 1963, a race in which he wasn't declared the victor until long after Buck Baker had already been awarded the trophy in that race for reasons. NASCAR presented Scott's family with his trophy from that race 2 months ago. 2 months ago. He won the race. He was pushed out, didn't get his trophy. They gave it to another guy, Buck Baker. 2 months ago, NASCAR gave Scott's family his trophy from that race. It was a moment, and then it was followed up by Bubba Wallace. Warwick Scott Sr., who is Scott's grandson, tweeted, "R.I.P. Wendell Scott, and congratulations, Bubba Wallace," after he won last night. A big moment in NASCAR history. We'll dive into that later on. The NASCAR playoffs are underway. We have one more race before we cut the field from 12 down to 8 as it stands right now. Your drivers that are within 4 above and below the cut line, The cut line right now, Martin Truex Jr. is 20 points over it. Ryan Blaney, 15 over it. Chase Elliott, 9. And Kyle Busch, 9 over the cut line as it stands right now. The drivers in contention for elimination, 9 points under the cut line, or basically 9 points behind Kyle Busch, is Kevin Harvick. Christopher Bell, 28 points back. William Byron, 44. And Alex Bowman, 52 points under the cut line. Bell, Byron, and Bowman would effectively have to win the race next week at Charlotte when they run at the Roval in the Bank of America Roval 400. Bell, Byron, and Bowman would have to win the race. Harvick would have to have a really, really good showing and hope that either Elliott or Busch end up with a DNF and no points. Busch yesterday was running really well inside the top 10 before somebody else's accident was just unable took him out. He was unable to finish the race. And so Kyle Busch finds himself in a threat of being eliminated. We'll jump into the NASCAR playoffs later on in the show. And finally, item number 3 on the lunch breakdown. I would hope that this would not be something that we need to make an entire segment out of, but we do. And we will. And it's unfortunate and it sucks. Lonzo, if you don't mind, grab me clip number 3, the wave format, because I did not delete the other format, unfortunately. Clip 3, if you don't mind. Last night, it is the second quarter of Monday Night Football between the Raiders and the Chargers. 9 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the game. The Raiders are trailing the Chargers, and Darren Waller receives a 21-yard reception from Derek Carr, gets pushed out of bounds, spikes the ball, and this happens.
3rd and 5. Pressure. Carr gets rid of it, and there it is. Darren Waller, and the first down.
Yeah, what a nice move by Darren Waller.
You see the flag at the 50. Beg your pardon, Lewis.
Yeah, I'm just saying you see some miscommunication as far as Derwin James is concerned about where the help is coming from and whether or not he needs to keep carrying him. You can't have any miscommunication against Darren Waller.
After the play was over, Conti, offense, number 83, spiking the ball in the bench area. 15 yards, first down. This is the player's first foul in that category. If he gets another unsportsmanlike foul in that category, he will be disqualified.
John Parry, talk to me.
You know, it is a point of emphasis, but he's not looking at the defender. He's just putting the ball down on the ground in the white. I don't think it's directed at the opponent. No, clearly it's not.
Haunting call on Darren Waller after a 21-yard reception. And in that, Waller was pushed out of bounds into the Chargers bench. He was not looking at the two defenders who pushed him out of bounds. He was running parallel with the sideline, granted in the Chargers bench area, but parallel with the sideline. And Lonzo, he spiked the ball. That's it. He spiked, not looking at anybody, not in anybody's grill. He was standing in front of the ref. He was running down the sideline after being pushed out of bounds. He spiked the ball into the ground with his left hand and immediately ran back onto the field. And they called the softest, weakest, saddest excuse of a taunting call, of which there had been some bad ones, after what would have been an enormous first down game for the LV Raiders. Listen, when you have a situation, we talked about this about a week ago, where players, coaches, and fans, the holy trinity of the NFL audience, when those three all think a thing is dumb together collectively, the thing's probably dumb. John Gruden said he doesn't understand it. He hates it. And Chucky is right. That call was a potential was a game-changing call in that moment after a 21-yard first down that got wiped off the books. Absolutely garbage penalty.
Here's the thing, Rob, have you ever taken a spiked ball to your shins or to the groin area or possibly maybe you're bending over to, maybe you just happen to be the person who brings liquid refreshment to the players, and you just happen to be bending over to pick up that whatever the carrier thing is that has Gatorade in it. And suddenly this guy, this misguided individual who wants to be cocky about something he just did, decides to spike the ball on your sideline, and you lose an eye, you lose a groin, you lose a shin.
You lose a groin?
You lose
a groin?
You can lose your entire.
Just hits by a football and it's just gone. You're a Ken doll now.
Yes, exactly.
Lose a groin, says Lonzo.
It's taunting in its highest degree, and it just cannot be stood for. Thank goodness for the NFL.
15-yard penalty, threatening the potential procreation of the entire team. Come on, man. Lose a groin? I was trying to be serious about this, and Lonzo said you could lose a groin.
Look at me. I am absolutely serious about this.
Can you? I've been told I wear my emotion on my sleeve, and sometimes I'm not always entirely aware of the way that I look and act in conversations. Can you confirm or deny that I just rolled my eyes at you? Because I feel like I did, but I was kind of lost in the moment because I heard the words, "Have you ever lost a groin?"
Here's the problem. You roll your eyes so much it's impossible to make eye contact.
At ESPN, update on today's episode of Why Did Lonzo Decide to Die on This Hill? Let's take a break. We'll talk about this more when we come back, because if I play my cards right, we might get a sentence as great as someone could lose a groin. I don't think we will, but I'm going to try. Next on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate. Steven, welcome in, buddy. Good to have you back. Josh, afternoon, my man. Coach Irvin Myers is in troubles and has nothing to do with foosball. The rumor right now from Michael Lombardi, who covers the NFL, is that there are, quote, many closed-door meetings happening over the last 2 days in the football offices, and none of them have to do with the Titans. Stay tuned. This might get ugly. So interesting. Austin, welcome in. Great to have you, buddy. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. We're doing our best. Josh has also pronounced dad jum. No, Josh, no, it's dad gum. At least if you were in, around, or near Tallahassee, Florida, where the great Bobby Bowden used to coach, it's dad gum. Josh says you can fracture your throat as well. Yes, you can. That's a thing that we learned earlier. Late last football season. And it sounds horrifying.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to needle in a haystack. You can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.
Oh, I gotta grab my phone real quick.
Zach.
So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter.
Admittedly, there are times where I try to break Rob. I don't want to break him to the point that he can't come back, but now I need to look up a word because I'm not smart. This is the right word. What the heck is Connor? So I was going to use this word, but I was afraid it was the wrong word. Amorphous. When you mentioned
What word?
Amorphous.
Amorphous?
Yes.
I don't think I've even heard this word.
When you were talking about Ken doll.
Worthous.
No, amorphous.
Oh, yes.
I am sorry. So I looked up amorphous, and it's without a clearly defined shape or form, an amorphous characterless conurbation. What the heck is a conurbation? Have you ever heard? You're a smart guy in the room. Have you heard of conurbation before?
I know.
I gotta look that up too.
Amorphous, I've heard. It's
Yeah.
The layman definition would be without shape or form. A without, and morphous, I don't know what the Latin root is there, but shape or form. What's the other word?
Conurbation.
I couldn't tell you how. I couldn't even
An
guess it. I'm
extended
sorry.
urban area typically consisting of several towns merging with the suburbs of one. So I don't know why that was used in that. Okay. I guess
Well, I have a-
amorphous
I have
in
a-
the as far as
I have
okay.
a new big word to use to distinguish myself as a haughty intellectual. Thank you so much.
Is it the one from earlier or just I
Conurbation.
just
No,
oh,
conurbation's
conurbation?
great.
Okay.
So conurbation is basically the greater metro area of a place.
So like downtown or is it? I don't know. Welcome to the new week.
Greenville, Taylors, and Lawrence would be the Greenville conurbation. Would it be the Greenville or just a conurbation?
Be a conurbation.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. Texters are lighting up the text line right now. Texas says ESPN, the lunch breakdown at Urban Meyer have the same strategy for life. Okay, I can't read the rest of that. I can't read it. But well done. I want you guys to know if you send me dirty and inappropriate and dark humor on the text line, it will make me laugh even if I don't read it on the air.
Gee, I wonder who sent that.
Not who you think.
Really?
Not who you think. Not who you think. ESPN, Red Sox and Urban Meyer, both not able to go as deep as they used to. Okay. You know what? No more text. Never mind. Cut the text line. Cut the text line. The jokes are good. Just can't read them. ESPN update. So are they going to start flagging Gronk every time he spikes a ball after a touchdown? Thank you. That is literally what's written on my show.
Gronk does not do that on the sideline, though. This is because it was on the
But there
sideline.
are other players from the other team in the end zone where he spikes the ball. There are always players from the other team around him. They are at threat, Lonzo,
Yes.
of losing a groin.
But that is not their home base. Okay.
Mhm,
That's a
mhm.
place of gathering. Okay. Your sideline is your home base.
Dude, if you don't stop, you're going to pull a quad trying to stretch this out. You're going to hurt yourself. I'm worried about you, buddy. I'm going to brain cramps trying to figure out ways to make this work.
Maybe we can get a sponsor from some hot yoga and then I'll be able to, stretch myself out.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Rob and Lonzo will advocate and do hot yoga. You know us, two yoga guys. Namaste, Zoe. Namaste. Which is when they're going to be like, hey, Rob, come
Wait
on
till the
down to
text
hot-
line.
They're going to call and go, hey, Rob, Tuesday at 7, come on down to yoga. And I'm going to say namaste at this bar. Lonzo's going to say namaste right here in front of this PlayStation.
All right, there's a good chance that some members of our sales team just happen to be watching today. And so my plea to you is, and I have pretty good ideas, is that Rob and I need to do a live remote from hot yoga just because Rob doesn't want to do it. And Rob has to wear his magenta shirt while we're doing it because that fits at hot yoga, I'm guessing.
All right, first off, NFL players take hot yoga. It's not like a girly thing.
You were the
okay?
one that were downplaying it.
I'm not going to do it because it's girly or unmanly. For God's sake, I'm wearing a magenta shirt. All right? I'm saying if I walk into hot yoga and they're like, touch your toes, I'm going to go, yeah, in middle school.
Because obviously I'm very inclusive. That's just who I am as a person. I think not only should you and I do it, but the other show on the station should also do it. This would be a combined event of you and I and Mark and Diesel at hot yoga.
I'm dying at the image of Diesel in yoga pants.
He's already got them.
First off, dude yoga pants are called joggers, or as I call them in my house, broga pants.
So
Because
it's
they are
like
the
spandex? Or
No,
what? Okay.
no. But like the NFL or like the NBA players wearing warm-ups. They're like tight. They stop right above the ankle. They're joggers, and they,
You know
roll
what?
your eyes all you want, are the most comfortable thing in my entire wardrobe when I am done with this show and I get back to the house. The first step is work pants come off, joggers go on every day.
I was going to say, you seem to know an awful lot about this subject. So, okay.
Joggers, I'm trying
Yeah.
to change the world for the better.
Okay.
Gentlemen, trust me on this. Get yourself a pair of joggers for two reasons. Number one, you are going to you're going to call and go, these are the most comfortable things I've ever owned. Thank you, Rob.
Where would you go to get these joggers?
Literally anywhere.
So Cato's or Lane Bryant
or the Nike or Adidas outlets where they sell them by the bundle.
Okay, which section are they in? Are they in like the,
I'm done with
the
you.
guys
I'm done
section?
with you. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Texture says ESPN, between Urban and Lonzo, there's been way too much groin talk for a Tuesday.
Can't argue with that one.
Texture says ESPN home base, Lonzo. What are they playing? Laser tag? I'm just saying. Considering that the NFL has glorified in advertisements over and 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 over the Gronk spike in the midst of the defense surrounding him in an end zone, calling Darren Waller for not even, because the Gronk spike the Gronk spike is not a spike, right? A spike is the ball goes up over your head and you spike into the ground. Waller did it from shoulder level. It wasn't even like a full spike. It was like a shoulder level spike, which is not even really a spike. It's more of a forceful drop. Okay? It's a forceful drop. The Gronk spike, the regular spike comes over your head and down. The Gronk spike, my dude reaches back behind him, comes full arc over the top, and spikes with every bit of body momentum that he can get.
Which is like throwing from a story up, because with his arm extended,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like 10 feet tall.
And he puts his whole body into it. The
yeah.
Gronk spike is not a regular spike. It's the Gronk spike for a reason, but here's the thing. The NFL has spent years glorifying the Gronk spike. Years.
Well, you don't have to worry about that for a while. How's them ribs?
Not great. Shall we say, well done.
He came back and said,
Yeah,
you know
not ready.
what? Might be
You ever-
time to retire
You
again.
ever cracked a rib?
I've had bruised ribs, and
It is the
yeah.
worst. Cracked rib, broke rib, bruised rib, it doesn't matter. It sucks. The only length is how long does it suck for? I had ribs cracked about 6-7 years ago because a buddy of mine and actually my best friend and I were on the beach in Navarre, Florida, and as 31-year-old men do, were trying to hit wrestling moves on each other in the sand and in the water, like RKO each other without each other knowing. Well, I decided to lay down on the sand, and my best friend, hello Teddy, decided that he was going to drop a Macho Man Randy Savage elbow on me. But see, he forgot, Lonzo, that wrestling's fake and you don't drive your entire force of your body through the point of your elbow into a rib. He cracked one of my ribs. I was in massive pain for about 2 weeks. It hurt to breathe. Breathe. Kind of the one thing you have to do because the alternative is not breathe ever again. It hurt to breathe for 2 weeks. So when they said Gronk is out with busted ribs 1 week, nope, absolutely not.
I have a quick high school story that, because you always appreciate my high school stories, and it's right along the lines of my other high school stories. So halftime at a game against Lancaster, the offensive guard punched me in the ribs every time I got through the line, and I got through quite a bit. So I had a purple bruise the size of a fist on my ribs and was wheezing, could barely breathe. And I showed my coach, and he kicked me in the ankle and said, "You ain't bleeding."
Not on my field.
Yeah, you ain't bleeding, which he was right. I wasn't bleeding. I couldn't breathe, but so I know what bruised ribs feel like. Get well soon, Gronk. You'll be spiking anytime.
69. Still the greatest segment you ever did.
Yeah.
I had to tell you,
He can't. Much back.
between that and the NFL players on the sideline are in danger of losing a groin. I got to tell you, Alonzo, I think we have recaptured and gone back-to-back in South Carolina's best sports talk radio show already. We're just going to submit those 2 segments for approval, and we will be walking with another piece of hardware. I have no doubt in my brain. Yeah, I know. Oh, I already knew. As soon as we were done with this segment, I'm like, I know where that's going. All right. The NFL's taunting rules are dumb and stupid, and I hate them. And that was a dumb call, and it changed the inflection of that moment in the game. I'm not saying it cost the Raiders the game. I am saying it took a huge dent out of a drive in which they had finally started to build up some momentum, and they did it. Why? I hope if they were going to call that a taunting penalty, I hope that the NFL sent grief counselors down to the Chargers sideline to make sure that they were going to get through what I'm assuming for these grown-ass athletes was a traumatizing experience. I am sure that they all went to sleep and had nightmares of Darren Waller spiking the ball on the sideline. I am sure that they all woke up today with a minor case of PTSD. And from this point forward, if they ever see a football moving towards the ground, they will have Vietnam-style flashbacks of Darren Waller having the audacity to commit that war crime, that violation of the Geneva Conventions on their sideline. What a joke. What a joke. Just stop.
This will go the way of the pass interference challenge. Next year.
No, it's done. It's already done.
No, they'll continue with it this year. It'll be a point of emphasis, just like usual, and they'll think that they've regulated it to a point where it's under control, and then they'll let it go.
The differences between those two things? Reviewing pass interference makes sense when you do it the right way. They didn't stop doing that because it was bad or dumb. They started doing that because their idiot officials couldn't get it right. That's why they stopped that. They will stop the taunting rule because everybody, except Lonzo, hates it. And Lonzo is only concerned about the safety and well-being of the groins of the opponents. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. Quick break. We're back after this. Rob Lonzo, it's ESPN Upstate.
Well, Toasty in here today. A little bit.
I was just thinking that.
Because people are so animated. That's what it is.
Option on the base pass and pitcher Nick Pivetta on the roster. Gio Urshela's on New York's wild card roster despite a thigh bruise. Yankee Red Sox coverage 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN.
I enjoy when experts in Dagum, join in on the conversation.
Ben Albright, who just replied to us, is a NFL insider from Denver who is very, very well known. He's got like 113,000 Twitter followers, is a national figure, and I love that he has gotten involved in this conversation.
Don't go through the fall months with that joint pain. Call QC Kinetics now. Regenerative solutions are here, bringing lasting relief from joint pain with no downtime, no surgery, no steroids. QC Kinetics uses natural biologic therapies that restore and repair damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, hips, and back. Patients here are raving about the results. Listen, you don't have to live with that chronic pain, and don't think surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now. Learn about these exciting natural alternatives. Hey, you've heard football legend Emmitt Smith talk about QC. It's all about fall is the time to enjoy life to the fullest. Act now. Restorative, regenerative therapies are available here. And the in-office consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics at 864-448-3772. Non-surgical joint pain relief. 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. 83772.
Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabit per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even
Just saw a picture of Marshawn Lynch. Have you seen his, is it Grubhub
Yeah.
commercial? That is great. That is so
I'm
good.
telling you specifics about my order. That's between me and my belly.
That was
I
so
like
good.
at the end when they put the camera in the back and it goes, hey, don't show my lunch.
Someone who didn't enjoy talking to the media, he sure is loving doing
Dude, he's
commercials.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Introducing Fidelity Income Planning. We look at how much you've saved, how much you'll need, and help you build a straightforward plan to generate income when you're not working. Plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services with NYSE SIPC. Tina's floor manager retired, leaving her tortilla factory flat out. Let's fill the role and all those
I don't know, man. Pearls are a little much.
Not when you're a bad bee.
Yeah. Well,
Like, what are you going to say to him?
I just,
Hey, Major League Baseball player, professional athlete, multimillionaire who is the hottest hitting outfielder going into October. You look like a girl, LOL.
now, if
Do you want to see what me and Lonzo are
If
talking
you-
about?
if you
Go to my
pick-
Twitter page,
yeah.
twitter.com/ES or twitter.com/The Rob Brown Show, and look at my last tweet. Credit to Keegan for sending that one to me because it's beautiful.
now, if you were to pull the Elvis move at the end of every game and take the pearls off and give it to
Oh, yeah.
a female in the
Yeah.
audience, I'd be
Even more of a gangster
yeah,
move.
yeah, that would
That's a
be.
G move. Austin says, what made you want to start streaming the show on YouTube? Well, we wanted to start streaming the show because Lonzo and I are big fans of giving people every possible opportunity to interact with the show. And this is a really good way to do it. So this lets us open up a medium that we can talk to folks, and it gives us the whole 3 hours because now during breaks, we can come here and interact with you guys. I put it on YouTube to document them, to save them so people can go back and watch them later on down the road. That's the only reason, because I'm an egomaniac, Austin. In the Facebook stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Austin says, what made you want to start streaming the show on YouTube? Simple answer. I'm an egomaniac. I wanted you guys to be able to see my bright, shining face and, more importantly, brighter, shininger shirts, no matter where I was and what I was doing.
And I didn't want to look at Rob. I just want to look at me, and now I can look at the screen and just see me for 3 hours straight. Who doesn't want to do that?
See, I was joking about it. As the texter said, can you add Captain Wet Towel to Lonzo's list of nicknames? Because you throw a wet towel over everybody's fun, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah, you're right. Because I'm not fun at all.
Texter says, safe to say Gronk's grenade would kill everybody. If that pass was a grenade, nobody would have died. What a freaking take from Hasselbeck, right? Texter says, wait, I'm pretty sure Gronk came back into the game after that hit happened. I don't plan on spending multiple segments on Rob Gronkowski's ribs, but here we are. As somebody who has had a cracked rib in the past, let me tell you how that works. It's happened to me twice, once in sports, once because my friend's an idiot. When it happens initially, you don't really feel it. I mean, it's sore, like it hurts, but it just feels like any other injury. About 2 hours later is when that pain kicks in, when those pain receptors start firing and sending those signals to your brain that, hey, this sucks and everything sucks and I hate it.
And you stay active and make sure it's not Tyrod Taylor's doctor, and probably
Correct.
get a shot, and
Correct.
then you're good for a while.
Correct. Gronk, yeah, I believe you're correct. I do believe Gronk came back into the game. If that is the hit it happened. That's the other thing is it can be wonky, right? You can get pounded on for 48 minutes and it doesn't matter. And then you fall the wrong way running off the sideline. You fall the wrong way coming off the field and you land on your ribs and you crack one. Speaking of unfortunate injuries, the Red Sox and the Yankees get at it tonight. AL wild card. One game determines who moves on to take on your AL regular season champs, the Tampa Bay Rays, just like we all called it. How about this injury, Zoe? JD Martinez left Sunday's win over the Nationals and has been left off of today's wild card roster by the Boston Red Sox because he has an ankle injury. A sprained ankle, which happened while in the 5th inning. He was jogging to right field to start the inning. Zoe, he tripped over second base and sprained his ankle and now has to miss game number 1 of the Boston Red Sox postseason. Tripped over second while jogging to right field in between innings, sprained an ankle, and now is out for at least one game for the Boston Red Sox in the postseason.
Was he having a conversation with another player?
Nope.
Or was he looking at someone in the crowd? Was John Candy in the crowd? I mean, you know.
Was John Candy in the crowd?
It's a Joe Montana reference.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. No, he was literally just.
It just goes to show
jogging.
you that athletes are people too. How many of us have walked down the hallway and tripped over nothing?
It happens to me once a month. Once a month it happens to me. It's incredible and it's dumb and it happens to all of us. But it's one of those things that you go, this dude is a world-class athlete. These guys are supposed to be like the pinnacle of athleticism. These guys are supposed to be what we all aspire physically to be. And JD Martinez just tripped over second base, jogging between innings. And now one of the best hitters on the Red Sox rotation has to sit out of a win or go home playoff game against the Yankees in October at Fenway Park. Unbelievable.
Would you want him to play anyway?
On a sprained ankle? No, not at all.
Can you have a pinch runner in MLB?
Yes, you can.
Can you?
286 with an 867 OBS, 28 home runs,
Admittedly,
99 ribbies for JD.
it would affect your swing with a sprained ankle for sure.
Sprained your ankle before?
Yes.
It affects your everything.
I know, but what I'm saying is maybe still have him up at the plate and have a pinch runner.
Nope.
If you think you need him that much.
Nope. Texter says, thanks for the last segment. Now I'm scared to walk by the 2 kids in my neighborhood throwing a football because I don't want to be a Ken doll, LOL. Be safe out there, guys. Bouncing objects may cause you to lose your groin.
Struggle is real, yo. Be careful out there. Eyes up and down, I guess.
Lose your groin. Coming up at 1:30 this afternoon, we're going to be joined by Joe Giglio of BetQL Daily. He is the host of BetQL Daily and a BetQL insider. We'll talk about him. If you got any questions about specific games, lines, props, over, unders, parlays you're interested in, send them to me on the Ingles Market text line at 71307, and we will ask Joe Giglio for some advice for you. Let's take a break. We're back after this to wrap up Hour 1 on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. And we're back. No, I did not know that. I would expect, I did not. I'm gonna look that up and read into it. I did not know. I expect both USL and League One will be expanding, because of the success of both leagues, which, from what I understand, are growing pretty well and pretty consistently in popularity. And with the MLS announcing their own minor league and that they are going to be pulling MLS related clubs out of USL, they're going to have to replace those. So we'll get a couple of leagues joining in, or a couple of teams joining in to replace those, and then you'll probably see some more growth moving forward.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters and the game in its eye. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs and overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Voted one of America's top haunts and #1 in South Carolina. Venture through the haunted house and trail full of elaborate sets, special effects, and top-notch actors. Play our creepy carnival games and escape rooms, or check out our brand new 18-hole Ghost Town mini golf. Grab your friends and get ready to scream. Located in Piedmont off I-85, exit 35. Buy your tickets now at madworldattractions.com. That's madworldattractions.com.
The Burns Rebels play on ESPN Upstate.
This Friday night, the Rebels return to action. It's Burns Friday night on ESPN Upstate.
Powered by your local Ingles Market.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like
the Lexington announcement just came across on my Twitter, as a matter of fact. Cool.
Irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
Let's figure out how to find common ground again. At the Institute for Citizens and Scholars, we are focused on rebuilding democracy by broadening civic learning and supporting civic discourse. To learn more about how to get involved, visit us at citizensandscholars.org.
Restrictions may apply. Price and cost of coverage may vary. Call Protect My Car for details. Look, money's tight for everyone right now. It's been a tough year, and you sure don't need to get hit with a big unexpected bill. Like, what if your car breaks down right now? How are you paying the bill? If it's your transmission, that's over $3. You can hit your wallet hard. If you have a car, truck, or SUV that's $19.99 or more, you can stop paying for repairs right now. That's right. With Protect My Car, when your car breaks down, we pay your repair bill for you. Just dial 800-279-2827 on your mobile phone now to get started. Protect My Car pays for repairs to your engine, transmission, air conditioning, suspension, and so much more. Dial 800-279-2827 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Dial 800-279-2827 on your mobile phone right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Dial 800-279-2827 and never pay for car repairs again. Dial 800-279-2827.
Join the Rob Brown Lockdown on Twitter. Tweet at the Rob Brown Show.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1 here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Rob Lonzo, you be a part of the show. 844-GSP ESPN 844-477-3776 is the number. Text us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read it on the air. Coming up in the next hour of the radio broadcast, I think we've pretty much driven how stupid the taunting penalty is, and certainly was last night against Darren Waller in the Monday Night Football game. So we'll put that on the shelf. So we will get to a couple of other things. The Miami Dolphins looks like they are still interested in making a trade for Deshaun Watson, and being reported by a couple of different sources that there may be some fire to that smoke. Nothing is done yet. The Dolphins don't love the asking price for Deshaun out of the Houston Texans, which, of course, they want like 8 years worth of draft picks. But with Tua Tagovailoa shelved and really playing mediocre football before that, the Dolphins are picking up steam and making the move. Is that a good idea? We'll break that down. Yesterday, we very briefly touched on Paul Feinbaum's comments regarding Dabo's dynasty being over. I have some more thoughts on that because we didn't really get to flesh that out yesterday. So I'm going to talk to you about that and why I think Paul Feinbaum might be right, which is not a sentence I've said very frequently in my career. Shad Khan has made some comments on Urban Meyer. You know we're going to have more jokes in that direction. Stay around for that. And coming up this weekend, major boxing match, big boxing match. We'll talk about that and more coming up on Rob. He's Zoe. This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. I just said this weekend, and Wilder Fury is not this weekend, and I don't know why I said that.
No, it is this week.
It is this week. That's okay.
I was just making that face because, Thursday. But, this is like I can't find other stuff to talk about on Thursday.
Oh, Fight Club? We saved it for Thursday.
No.
It's totally fine.
You have a pick for today. Do
and
it
it's not
today.
like we can't talk about it in the 1 o'clock hour today and then bring it back up in the 2
You're
o'clock
right.
hour on Thursday.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I just figured you forgot about it.
No.
So I was going to have fun Thursday with you forgetting about it. Because you've been, out of town and busy and stuff. You see the price tag for the fight, though.
What is it?
80
$79.
Yeah, $80.
Yeah. I wonder if they know that consistently raising the price is not how you fix getting people to buy the pay-per-views. Lowering the price is how you get more people to
The
buy.
last fight was I actually bought that fight and was considering buying this one until I saw the price tag. And it's like, you know what? I want to see this fight, but I'll just find other means. Matt World in the first break.
I'll print that on a t-shirt and wear it around so everybody believes you. Thank you very much. I'm going to accept that very sarcastic accolade as 100% true. Thank you. I'm sure there's the internet. It's got to be true, right? Got to be true.
American League Wild Card on ESPN Radio.
That guy's excited about baseball.
What? Yeah, no, I hear it. I'm coming. Let's rock and roll. Hour number 2 is on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate, the Rob Brown Show, the award-winning Rob Brown Show. Rob, Lonzo, and you. 844-477-3776, 844-GSP-ESPN. Text us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read it on the air. Yesterday, I got some feedback on the show. This morning, Lonzo and I had the opportunity to sit down with some of the folks that are in the downstairs departments, the sales administration, on a Zoom call. to do a little getting to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. All of a sudden, I am so bright and cheery because of all the beautiful and new things I'm learning about you day by day kind of meetings.
Wow. I only knew the first line. I didn't know there was more to that song.
Did you not have a childhood? Did you not did you not sing that song incessantly? Is it going to sing that song all the time?
No, I did not sing that song.
Julie Andrews, man.
Oh, a show tune.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I lived in a bad neighborhood.
The King and I, dude.
I live in a bad neighborhood. If you said you like show tunes, you're in big trouble. No, thank you.
By the way, I just realized what I just did, and I swear to you, completely unintentionally. So I'm going to come back to what I was saying in a second, but we were having this meeting this morning, and I don't think I'm going too far behind the scenes to get in trouble here. But we're having this meeting.
That remains to be seen.
True story. I'll let you know tomorrow if I've gone too far. We're having this meeting where they are reintroducing the ESPN Upstate on-air folks and managers to the sales staff so that we can, keep pushing the product and get more advertisers and be able to bring you guys better content, more content with more resources. And the big boss downstairs, as he's kind of talking to the folks in sales about who ESPN is and what ESPN is and what we want ESPN Upstate to be about, et cetera, the big boss puts up a slide. And that slide says ESPN, who we are in one column and who we are not in another column. And in column number 1, it's like who we are. Steak, blue collar, action movies. Like dude stuff, man. Like dude stuff. And then on the other side, it says who we are not. And 2 things stuck out to me. Number 1, The Bachelor, which I assume was a direct shot across the bow of Mark Ryan and made me laugh hysterically on the freaking meeting, laughed out loud. And the second thing it says is who we are not, theater. And what do? Open with a Julie Andrews song from The King and I. Lonzo, I don't think I'm getting in trouble for devolving the meeting. I think I'm going to get in trouble for the fact that it literally said who we are not, theater, and I open with getting to know you from The King and I.
You're going to get a scathing email from someone about
100%.
No, about the Bachelor comment.
That is what it is. Decisions have social consequences.
Yes,
all right?
and consequences otherwise. You're absolutely right. But yeah, you did go theater there. You did. You absolutely did.
Thank you very much. Now, that being said, what I was actually getting to, we got some feedback yesterday, and we were having this conversation on the Zoom meeting earlier today because I had a guy email yesterday after the show, and I don't have the email pulled up, but I'll paraphrase it. But the email effectively said, Rob, I like the show. I like the content, but you are way over the top. You are loud. It's obnoxious. You yell about things you don't need to be yelling about, et cetera, et cetera. And it basically asks why, right?
Let me interrupt for a second. Rob is not loud because I can turn him up or down. So he's saying I'm not doing my job correctly.
I mean, I'm not loud over here because I just spin this little knob with my headset volume. It looks like I can't even hear myself right now. So here's what I responded to the guy and what I'll respond here, because I every now and then I just like to redefine the show so that people kind of know what we're going for. And this is what I said in the meeting this morning as well. Our average time listening. What's the acronym for it? It's not ATL. What is it? It's average ATSL.
It's TSL.
That's whatever it is.
Yeah.
The average time listening for this time slot, Lonzo, is what? 15 to 22 minutes, I think.
Someone on their way to or from somewhere.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 17 minutes is the average. It's between 15
because of where we live, it takes people a while to get somewhere.
Sure.
So I would say more like 20 to 25 minutes.
Sure. So let's say 25 minutes. If I am lucky, I get the average listener for 25 minutes. All right. The majority of you guys are listening on your lunch break. You spend 30 to, if I'm real fortunate, 60 minutes with me on a daily basis, right? That is why we are loud and energetic. Because what I don't want is for a guy or a gal who works in a bank, a guy or a gal who works in a, I don't know, mechanic's garage, who only gets 25 to 45 minutes with me on average during the lunch break, right? You take 5-10 minutes to clock out, get your lunch set up, you turn on the radio, you got a handful of minutes to kill while you knock down your Stromboli. And then, 45 minutes later, you got to clock back in and get back to work. I want every person who listens to this show to feel like we are a break from the norm. You ever worked in a bank? I've worked in a bank. It was not my favorite experience. And this is not, if you like working in the bank, that's awesome. Find your passion and do it.
Banks have hair restrictions.
They do.
Yeah.
You want to hear a fun true story? This is a fun true story, Lonzo. I got fired from my bank job because I did not wear dress socks under my Sperry topsiders one day. I got fired for that. Trust me, banks aren't for me. If it's for you, cool. Find your passion. That's why I do what I do. That's why Lonzo does what he does. Find your passion and do it. But let's be real. Working in a bank where you are nothing more than a tool for people to make sure that their money's taken care of, you sometimes get a little stressed. People can be not fun on a regular basis. When you take a break with me, it's a lunch break, right? I don't want to be angry on my lunch break. Doesn't mean that we're not going to get into the drama. Doesn't mean that we're not going to get into the controversy. Doesn't mean we're going to shy away from incidents that are a little uncomfortable. We're not. We're going to get into that. But the vast majority of the time, we're trying to have fun, man. We're trying to laugh. Lonzo and I have these conversations off the air, too. We make each other laugh throughout the day. I would argue outside of the folks who work down on the other side on like the main hall, we probably have more people that pop their head into our door to hang out with us because we're idiots and we love doing it.
I'd like to think we're fun, but you call us whatever you want.
Hey, you know what I mean. The point is, we want to have fun. We want to goof off. Sports are a big part of life, right? But whenever, let's say, hypothetically, politics pops up into sports, as it inevitably does, as I said on our Zoom in this morning, sports and politics are not in a vacuum apart from each other. They are a Venn diagram. They overlap each other. It's not much. It's just a little bitty sliver of that Venn diagram where those two circles become one section. But they do overlap. And when we talk about them, what is the phone call, the text, the tweet I get more than anything else? Sports, Rob, you say eloquently, are supposed to be a break from real life. Sports are where I'm supposed to go to get away from the monotony of my job, from the frustration of politics. Sports is supposed to be where we go to have a good time with everybody else. We may disagree on politics, on religion, on worldviews of every type, but we all come together to love football together. And I'm fine with that. Again, it doesn't mean politics aren't ever going to enter sports. They are, and it might be uncomfortable. But the show is supposed to be your break from real life. When you clock out and sit in the break room and knock down your microwave pizza for lunch before you got to go back on the clock and do whatever you got to do, Lonzo and I want you to laugh at sentences like, those guys might lose a groin. All right? We're just having fun. That's the point. That's what we do. That's what the show is. That's how the show is structured from the beginning. That's how the show remains today. That's how the show's going to stay into the foreseeable future. I am not trying to aggravate you, Ryan. It's not to say there won't be conflict. Lonzo and I have butted heads a lot on this show, and we will do it a lot more. I have butted heads with you, the caller, and I suspect coming up here in just a minute, I'm going to do it again. When I tell you that Paul Feinbaum saying Dabo Swinney's dynasty at Clemson is over, when I say I think he's right. But we have fun. We take a break from the monotony of real life. That's the goal. That's what we want to do. So, to the texter who said, you're too much, you're obnoxious, you're over the top, I will acknowledge to you that for many people, I absolutely am. You are correct. And that's okay. Not every show is for everybody. We know that. Anybody in show business of any type knows that you could be the greatest actor in all the world. There's going to be somebody out there who just doesn't like you. They just don't like you. I have had people come, you cannot have a thin skin in this job. I have had people tell me to my face, I don't like a show. I had a guy sat in for Mark Ryan at Ingles a couple of weeks ago on a Thursday show. I had a guy come up to me, Zoe, about halfway through the show. And he walks up to the table, and I take off the headset because we're on break, and I stand up, and I kind of, put my hand out for a handshake or a fist bump or whatever. And the guy goes, oh. And I was like, huh? And he goes, you're not Mark. And I went, you are correct. Astute observation. I didn't say it like that because I'm not a smartass. I mean, I am, but not like a personal smartass,
Yeah, no one out there thought that you would actually see. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah,
correct.
So it was good.
But he said, you're not Mark. And he said, oh, I came to meet Mark. I said, all right, well, he'll be back in the rotation next Thursday. I said, but my name's Rob. Hope you're doing well. Do you listen to the show? And he says to me, Lonzo, no, man, I'm real sorry. I don't like your show. Like, that was it. That was the inflection. No, man, I'm real sorry. I don't like your show. I went, oh, that's all right. And when I said, that's all right, he just kind of looked at me like he was expecting a fight. It's not for everybody, and that's okay.
I'm sure you thanked him for listening to Mark's show.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to ESPN Upstate. Whether it's my show, Mark's show, both shows, all the shows we have that aren't our shows, we appreciate you listening at all. Thank you. Without you, we don't do this job. The show is not for everybody. It is meant to be light, and there's enough controversy. There's enough conflict. There's enough anger out there, and we're going to get into conflict and have some controversy. Of course we are. But the show is meant to give you something to be, to have a break from all of that in your day-to-day. That's the goal. That's what we do. That's why I am high energy. Because if you've only got 15, 20, 25 minutes with me, as most people who listen to the show do, I don't want you to have to come in here and listen to me talk about baseball like this. Red Sox, Yankees this afternoon. JD Martinez out for this game with a sprained ankle. Chris Sale is back for the Red Sox, but he is not going to be pitching tonight. They're going to go with Eovaldi. Exactly. You got 15 minutes of a break from real life. I'm trying to give you something that's upbeat, that's energetic. I refer to the show as Audio Red Bull, right?
Hey, I just picked up a new follower on Twitter. Thank you, Joe. But Joe would like me to correct you on something.
Correct away. He won't be the first, last, or only today.
Joe says, let Rob know that the King and I is Deborah Kerr and Julie Andrews is The Sound of Music. Hashtag theater.
Gertrude Lawrence. Okay. My bad.
I got to say.
That is why, Lonzo, we are not theater.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
Point proven, Steve Sinacroppy. I get it. All right. By the way, the guy that emailed me, and by the way, it's I don't take any of that personally. Right? The guy that emailed me told me he listens every day. He's like, I listen every day. It's like sometimes it grates on me a little bit. Sometimes I love what you're doing, but I still listen every day. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And if I'm not your style, that's okay. Mark Ryan's on from 3 to 7 every day with a totally different style show. That's why it's the two of us working here, because it's two people who disagree on literally everything except balls and strikes should be dictated by robots, not umpires. But other than that, we agree on nothing.
So what you're saying is you both are part of the collective. That's I kind of figured that.
The collective. But that's why we have different shows across the entire. No two shows are even close to each other. That's why we do them this way. All right, let's take a break. When we come back in just a minute, we're going to rehash that Paul Feinbaum quote because it picked up a lot of traction over the weekend. And we talked about it very briefly yesterday, but I didn't get to go into it, so I'm going to do that today. I'm Rob Brown, the guy who yells too much and is too loud. Lonzo is a guy who's very concerned about your groin. This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
You have a live here. That would be my world.
Mad World is your home for fright this Halloween season. Better lean into that one.
Just can't remember. The video things don't show up as far as the please stand by thing. It's just all black screens.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid I'm going to click on one that says please stand by for another station. And I almost did it anyway, but do you know what number that, I mean, how far down that is?
I don't.
So you can see it?
On what now?
The please stand by thing. You can see it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
This goes, I'm used to this. Rob only half listens to me.
So, I was getting a text from the boss. No, sorry, from the bowling boss, but about the Carolina show.
Oh, okay.
If you go to brand,
Yeah, I know.
and you scroll down to video clips,
Yeah, and there's a countdown. There's we'll be right back, and there's we'll be right back.
are the two we use.
Oh, both of those
Yes,
are
you can use
okay.
either one of them.
Okay, all right,
So we'll be right back is the purple one with the neon,
gotcha.
and we'll be right back is that one.
Okay, do you see a video on there, or is it just a blank screen and the we'll be right back on the
When I
right?
show it?
Yeah,
No, I can see
no. I mean, on when you're looking at the icons.
No, you just have a little thumbnail.
Okay, that's what I was just
Yeah,
making sure.
yep, yep,
All
yep,
right,
yep.
all right. See, that's the kind of behind the scenes stuff that you get right here.
This market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different from other managers.
Fisher is different? How? Don't you just ride the wave?
No, we actively manage client portfolios based on our forward-looking views of the market. In firms like these, we understand that clients want proactive communication and guidance.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, it's newer. Clients so we can tailor their portfolios to their specific goals and needs. We even offer resources on Social Security, Medicare, tax efficiency, and more. Our primary goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions, right?
No, we don't sell commission products. Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interest first.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, our fees are transparent, structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. We offer the best value on fast internet and phone, but we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? A 200 megabit per second internet for $49.99 a month?
Oh, okay. So I'm having a problem with one of my fingers swelling up due to bowling.
Okay.
And I wanted to see if it was a common thing. And first of all, I had to figure out the exact proper way to word it as I Googled it, because it is the central finger of my hand. And And there's a picture of a dude with the exact problem that I'm having. The joint right here is swelling up and it's very sore. And I'm trying to figure out, am I pressing too hard on the ball? I didn't have this problem with the other balls.
Okay.
I'm just having this problem with the bowling ball that I purchased.
Is it catching your knuckle
No.
on the way out? 'Cause
No,
That used to happen to me. Is it would like catch my knuckle?
Remember, I had this thing. This thing was drilled
that's
to
what I'm
my
asking. Like, you had it
specifics.
personally drilled.
Yeah, there's no catching on anything.
That's weird, then. On YouTube. Yeah, is that who Joe said? Deborah Kerr?
Yes.
Okay, then he's right. But I like it on the record that there is a Julie Andrews version, which is the one I know.
Okay. So you like had the Julie Andrews CD or something that you know.
First off,
Rock-
if I did
rocked up-
about it.
I'm trying to get to know you, trying to know all about you. Here we go. Change finger forward pitch to relieve middle finger pain. Okay.
Change pitch?
Yeah.
Like throw a fastball instead? I know that's not what they mean.
That's what I do.
All right, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is ESPN Upstate, 844-GSP ESPN, 844-477-3776. Clip number 1, please. Lonzo, after the last couple of weeks, Paul Feinbaum had a hot take on the Dabo Express and Dabo's dynasty at Clemson. He was on one of the ESPN shows, I don't know, Get Up, First Take, whichever one it was. One of the ESPN or Greeny, I don't know, whoever he was with. He was with somebody.
It was first take.
First take.
No. It was whatever Greenberg is when he first gets up. When
Okay.
you first get up.
So he's on with Greeny, whichever show it is.
Yeah, that one show.
Let's go with Get Up. That's fine.
It is Get Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's on Get Up with Greeny.
I'm gonna shut up now.
And Heather Dinich, who started as the ACC's senior ACC reporter and is now just a college football reporter who focuses on the ACC, was talking about how, Clemson's going to be fine. They're going to keep the ship right in the same direction, blah, blah, blah. And Paul Feinbaum disagreed, and he said this.
Dabo's dynasty is done. I do not like anything I see there. I respect what Heather has just got through saying, but I strongly and vehemently disagree. They've lost one coach a couple of years ago to USF. I think that was a big loss. This is a staff that has always been together, but I think it's getting stale. Yes, recruiting is still good, but will it be elite after what we just got through watching Greeny? It just doesn't look like Clemson is part of the cool kids anymore, and I think that they're going to pay for it in recruiting, and they play in a terrible league, which will hurt them even more.
Dabo says, I don't like anything I see there. They've missed on some folks, and they play in a terrible league, which will not help them. He said they're not in the cool kids club anymore. And I got to tell you, I think he's right.
Real quick clarification. Feinbaum said that, not Dabo.
Sorry.
Because if Dabo said
Dabo said that, we'd have a whole different show for the last week. If Dabo said that while I was out of town, I would have flown back from vacation to be on the show. So Paul says he's not in the cool kids club anymore, and playing in the ACC is not going to help him. And here's the thing, guys. He's right. All right? And I promise you, in the 14 years of broadcasting that I have done so far, I have probably said the sentence, Paul Feinbaum is right, like 3 times. And 2 of them were about food. All right? He's right. Because here's the thing. There's an old saying. What's the best way to make money? It's to already have money, right? The best way to make money is to already have money. If you already have money, making more money is infinitely easier than trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do it on your own. You don't have to like it. That is a fact. The same is true with popularity. The best way to be more popular is to already be popular. It is hard to walk into a room full of people that you don't know and become the central figure of that party. It is easy to walk into a room where it is easier to walk into a room where 2 or 3 people already know you because you've got resources to help you. It is easier still if you walk in a room where everybody already knows who you are. It is easier to walk into a room where everybody knows already who you are and gain that to gain the attention of everybody. It's the thing. Clemson has been pulling in top 3 recruiting classes for a few years now. Why? Because they're already the champs. Everybody already knows who they are. Everybody knows what Clemson has done. And everybody has seen the results on the field. But if you walk into a room where everybody knows who you are, trying to win over the room, and then you're holding a glass of punch and you walk into a wall and throw punch all over yourself, people are going to laugh. And they're going to go, that guy's not really as cool as we thought he was. Kind of don't want to be around him anymore. And I'm sorry, but this year, the Clemson Tigers have walked into a wall and spilled a drink all over themselves. All right? So, the thing is, you can recover from that. If you got a group of cool friends around you that can all laugh and joke and everybody else can laugh and joke, and now all of a sudden it's like, all right, he had an accident. Happens to the best. But when you're surrounded by a bunch of other nerds, you don't come back from that. Now you're just the nerd with the nerds who spelled drink on yourself. And that's what's happened to Clemson because the ACC is so bad. I used this example yesterday. If you're Kentucky, I'm using Kentucky as an example because they're clearly on the way up after a win over the Gators. If you're Kentucky and you're on the way up, but you're a middle of the pack contender at best, which is the best Kentucky's been. If you're on the way up and you're a middle of the pack contender and you're in the Southeastern Conference or the Big Ten right now, you can go to that 4-star recruit, that 5-star recruit, and you can say to them, hey, we might be down, but you might be the missing piece. And even if you're not the missing piece to win us a conference championship, you're going to play against the best the country has to offer. You're going to play against Alabama, LSU, and Florida. That's what you're going to do. Clemson can't offer that right now. You're going to play against what? 1-4 Florida State? It's the best team in the ACC right now. Wake Forest. Clemson was the title bearer. Clemson was the one that everybody else in the ACC got to go, yeah, we might not be ready yet, but you're going to get to play against Clemson on national TV once a year. You're going to have that now. On top of that, on the field, the coaching, I'm sorry to say, is bad right now. Okay? It's bad. DJ Uiagalelei is not getting better week by week. He's just stayed consistently average. The wide receivers have given up. They've just given up. Look at them. They're not fighting for footballs this year. Clemson fans, tell me I'm wrong. They've given up. The only thing you got going for you right now is Kobe Pace in the run game and the defense, which is good. But this team's not getting better week by week. They're staying consistently above the rest of the ACC, but that's not saying much this year. Everything Paul Feinbaum said about Clemson in that clip was technically correct. Technically correct. Jimmy, I see you on the line. I got Joe Giglio from BetQL coming up in the next segment for a quick interview. If you can hang on, Jimmy, I will get you on the flip side of that. If not, give me a call back. Everybody else, phone lines open 864-448-3772. I will open the phone up entirely at 1:47 after we talk to Joe Giglio of BetQL. That's next on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. Why?
Keep in mind, you got to give me the number.
Get that again.
have no clinical evidence behind them and cannot be relied on. Be vigilant and be accurate with Exergen.
Average 50. The Longhorns went on to face USC in the BCS National Championship game against top-ranked USC, winning 41-38. They set one of the greatest all games ever played.
You see any responses to the picture thing, including someone who said they used to do a show with you
on Twitter?
Yeah.
That was when I started my first morning show, he was one of the hosts, and then I moved into a co-hosting role with Adam, and he was kind of my mentor when I started. Don't tell him I said that.
It was on stream, so I mean, but I won't tell. Okay.
The host of BetQL Daily. He is a BetQL insider. We speak to him every Tuesday at 1:30. Mr. Joe Giglio joins us now on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Joe, sorry we missed you last week. Good to have you back, bud. Appreciate it.
You got it, Rob. How you doing today?
Living the dream, partner. Living the dream. And I want to jump right in, man, because it's Major League Baseball's postseason day number 1. We got Yankee Red Sox at Fenway Park tonight. The the Yankees a slight favorite in that. When you get to the playoffs, and we can kind of make it general talk, NFL, college football, whatever. When we get to the playoffs and the games are win or go home, does it change the way that you approach a bet when you've got teams that are changing things up and making these last minute moves, like the Red Sox changing up their rotation and going with the Eovaldi instead of Chris Sale? Does it change the way you approach bets?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, during the regular season, depending on, where each team is in their rotation, or, there's probably just little things with each baseball team over the course of a long season. They're all kind of at different inflection points. So, if you have one team with their 8 out there, another team with their 6th starter because they're going with 6 guys, there's injuries, right? You might find some real, an easy kind of win in the postseason, it's really just strength versus strength and how teams really match up on a really, really tiny level, but it goes a big way. So in these one games, I mean, yeah, look, it's the pitching staff, it's strikeout rate. You know, that's what October's all about. Like, who could strike out the opponent, who plays good defense. I mean, all those things kind of come in. So I think it's almost easier in a way, even though it is unpredictable and it's a tournament, it's almost easier in a way game to game to kind of handicap the matchup because there's less of those variables where it's like, all right, who's not pitching tonight? Who's got a backup in there because it's the middle of July? You kind of know what you're getting from each team now.
Do you have any thoughts on Red Sox Yankees? I was up last week. I was at the Yankees Red Sox game on Sunday night at Fenway and got to go as eyes on. Interesting place, and Fenway was absolutely packed for that game. Obviously, it had huge implications on what the wild card shape was going to look like. But the Red Sox going with Nathan Eovaldi instead of Chris Sale, who has been a guy who has not been able to go deep into games since his injury. Both these teams put the ball in play a lot. The Red Sox more consistently than the Yankees, but when the Yankees bats are hot, they are ridiculously hot. I love the over in this game, which the last I saw, I want to say it was like 8 or 7.5 or 8.5 or something like that. But any thoughts on this one tonight in the AL wild card with a huge rivalry in October?
I'm with you on the over. I think over 8 is the right play tonight. Two really good offenses on both sides, and both teams swinging it pretty well right now. So I like the over. And as far as the Red Sox decision to go with Eovaldi over Sale, I think you said it there, and that's the reason. And they probably won't say it out loud, but it's Lent. They're hoping Eovaldi gets them closer to the 6th or 7th because that bullpen in Boston is pretty dreadful since the end of July. So they're trying to avoid as many plate appearances they could give the Yankees against that bullpen because I think that's where the Yankees, if they're up, they'll add on, and if they're down, they can come back and win this game. That Red Sox bullpen's a mess right now. And I do think there's a big advantage in the dugouts in terms of manager. Core is much better than Boone, but I think that manifests itself way more over a 5 or 7 game series than one. In one game, the Yankees kind of plan this thing out, figure out how they're getting 27 outs, starting with Garrett Cole. So I don't think the Cora Boone thing is a big deal tonight. I'm with you on the over, though. That's probably the best play here.
All right, let's switch. I got kind of an interesting question, I think, for you. We have seen some calls in the NFL. We saw another one last night with Darren Waller, 21-yard reception, and he ends up getting it called back for a taunting call because he spiked the ball on the sideline. I think it was a garbage call, but that's another discussion for another time. With the changes that we have seen in NFL officiating, I thought the unsportsmanlike conduct on Joey Bosa late in the game last night, 4 minutes left, he gets a 15-yarder that extended the Raiders' opportunity to score, which had they done so could change the winning bets there. With the way that the NFL has kind of changed their officiating and I think been more ticky-tack this year, has there been a noticeable effect for you guys that study these lines and the results at the end of the day? And B, if there has been one, do you guys look into like who's officiating what games and what their tendencies have been and if they have any impact on the game?
Yeah, I think that's going to start now. It hasn't been so far in terms of how I thought of games, but it's impossible not to notice. And I think you're ahead of this because you watch this play out, and every week the taunting stuff. I mean, those penalties are just ridiculous. That's where the NFL wants to go now for whatever reason. But the other stuff I've noticed this year is illegal man downfield, holding penalties that were never called at this race, especially the illegal man down the field, which happens so much now on these RPOs because as an offensive lineman. As the play's going along, you don't really know what's going on behind you, right? You know the concept. It could be a run, it could be a pass. You're just trying to do your job. And if it turns into a pass and it's a broken play where the quarterback's flushed out of the pocket, you're down the field blocking. You think it's a run play. It could be a run play behind you. So sometimes these offensive linemen are 10 yards down the field, a little contact on a defensive back because they don't know what's going on behind them. The quarterback's scrambling around trying to throw the ball, and it's a big play. And even if, this offensive lineman 10 yards down the field is blocking this corner, no impact on the play whatsoever. It just, it becomes an illegal man downfield. They call it. It's taking big plays off the board. So I do think we're going to start to look at which crews are tighter on that kind of stuff because, we're losing big plays, and that changes games.
Talking to Joe Giglio, he is a BetQL insider and the host of BetQL Daily. A couple of NFL games coming up this weekend. Carolina Panthers were a team going 3-0 to start the season that got a lot of attention. They were doing well with over-unders, etc. Defense was stacked up. and playing very well. But then they'll go on the road, and they certainly did not get thoroughly beaten by the Dallas Cowboys. But with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, it maybe wasn't as close as we thought. This team, I think, won 3 games against 3 very average or bad football teams to start the year. This week, they are lining up against a Philadelphia team that, to me, is just kind of an enigma. Panthers minus 3.5. What do you see out of that team right now? Is there any value on betting Panthers to cover 3.5 against Philly? I think that there is, because I got to imagine they're inspired for a rebound this week.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. It's interesting. Both these teams are where they're at. I feel like 3.5 is probably the right number here. Sometimes you look at the number, you're like, man, that's off. And you feel like you got to jump on it because something is just off about the number. I think this is a fair number just based on where these two teams are right now. If Carolina had won that game, we could be looking at a 6-point number here. So their loss on Sunday probably helps you if you do want to take the Carolina side. I think the one worry for Carolina, and I do like what they're doing right now, and I like Matt Rule a lot, is Sam Darnold has kind of faded in the second half of these games. Look at his numbers. I mean, his passer rating, his yards per attempt, it's all way better in the first half of the game. The second half, he has struggled. So, and he, last week gave the ball away. It was kind of those old Darnold tendencies that I saw a lot when he was in New York. Those got to go away if they're going to be a playoff team this year. And then with the Eagles, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. Like, they had one really bad game Monday night against the Cowboys, but their other 2 losses, Sunday against Kansas City and a few weeks ago against San Francisco, they're taking points off the board. I mean, they had 3 touchdowns taken away by penalties on Sunday, which is like, it's remarkable. They scored 30 points. They had 3 touchdowns taken off the board. So they're moving the ball. I think it's a great matchup. The Eagles offense, Carolina defense, because both teams are doing some good things right now. It's just a matter of the Eagles are kind of hitting themselves in the foot, and they're shooting themselves in the foot and taking points off the board. They do that against Carolina, they'll get blown out. But if the Eagles play a clean game, I think it's pretty close.
Talking to Joe Giglio, BetQL Insider, host of BetQL Daily. You can find his stuff at BetQL.com, BetQL.com. Interesting game this weekend. Georgia and Auburn in the Southeastern Conference. Georgia hovering around a 14.5-point favorite in this one. Auburn's an interesting team to me, Joe, because they gave Penn State, who I think is a pretty good team. In fact, I've got them as one of my playoff 4 right now. Auburn, a football team that can go out there and give Penn State a game, but they let Georgia State within 10. But then they turn around and they go into Baton Rouge in a night game, a notoriously difficult place to play, and walk out of there in one of the most chaotic college football games in recent memory, knocking off LSU. And I think down the road costing Ed Orgeron on his job. That's another conversation for another time. Georgia, though, has been absolutely dominant. And despite the upstart feel this Auburn Tiger football program has, Georgia minus 14.5 just feels like free money to me.
It is. Listen, I love this Georgia team right now. I mean, in the first game of the year when they played Clemson, they were dogs in that game. They were 3-point underdogs. I remember going to the game, it's like, I think they're better. I get a quarterback with very little experience, an offensive line that I'm not sure about at Clemson. And they went in there, and their defensive line that night, just that they look like NFL players going up against college players, which is ultimately what they might be, in the next level. But they have continued that from the Clemson game moving on. They have allowed only 23 points this season. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's October. They're going to play their next game on October 9th. They've allowed 23 points the entire season. Their defense is for real. And you look on, FanDuel right now, them and Alabama continue to be tied for the best odds, the shortest odds to win the national title. And if you're in the realm as Alabama, same realm as Alabama, you're doing something right. I don't think anyone other than Alabama really could compete against this Georgia team. It reminds me a few years ago when it was LSU, Alabama, and it was just clear as day the 2 best SEC teams were the 2 best teams. And I look at Georgia, and I don't think anybody other than Alabama in the SEC is really going to give them much trouble.
We're talking to Joe Giglio, BetQL Insider and host of BetQL Daily. All right, Joe, give me a couple of lines that you're looking at that you like this weekend.
All right, well, there's a couple here that I just think are interesting. Let's go to Thursday night, where you have the Rams against Seattle. I think that one is an offensive show. The Rams defense has not been quite as good this year as it was last year. They might be missing Brandon Staley a little bit, who obviously is now the Chargers coach. He was their defensive coordinator last year. So I don't love the Rams defense. A couple games this year, especially the one on Sunday against Arizona, where they really got lit up. And Seattle's offense, it's been spotty. But I just have to imagine it's going to come around. Russell Wilson still has not thrown an interception. They have all those weapons with DK Metcalf and Lockett. So I look at that one and I say, both teams could get close to or over 30 points. I think we're getting a shootout on Thursday Night Football. So I do like the over in that game. And you look around the rest of the games here for Sunday, one that I think really just stands out is, look, the Colts had a win. They got their win, which is great by them. They're off the schneid. They're not winless anymore. But they have to go to Baltimore on Monday night. That is a tough chore. Anyone going to Baltimore and facing that Ravens defense, and they just took apart the Broncos, an undefeated Broncos team. I just think the Colts kind of, let their guard down a little bit. They got their win. I would take the Ravens on Monday night, even laying a touchdown against the Colts team on the road again against Lamar Jackson.
Joe Giglio is a BetQL insider. He's the host of BetQL Daily. You can find his work and all the insiders' work from BetQL at BetQL.com. He talks to us every single Tuesday at 1:30. Joe, my man, great stuff. Appreciate it greatly. And we'll talk to you in a week, big dog.
You got it. Thank you, Rob.
Always. That's Joe Giglio of BetQL. Go to BetQL.com. Become a better, bet smarter, and beat the books with our friends at BetQL. Quick break. When we come back, Clemson fans, I gave you my take on Feinbaum's take. I think he's right. I don't see anything. And by the way, most of the reason I think Feinbaum is right is outside of their control, right? But I think the fact that the ACC is down is a big, big blow to Clemson. In other years, when the ACC was up, they probably could have weathered this storm, had a down year or two, and then fired back. But the miss on DJ Uiagalelei, which I think I'm pretty convinced now 4 weeks in was a miss. The fact that this team is not getting better, and the fact that this deep into the season with that many scares and a 2-2 record, nothing has changed X's and O-wise, means that they have hit a stagnant point. And if you are not moving forward, you're getting left behind. I want your reaction to that when we come back on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate. Hey, hang on. First off, you're chasing down the live stream. It's up everywhere. I'm looking at it on Facebook. Keegan, it's live right now.
The NFL plays here on ESPN Upstate.
Hey, it's ESPN Upstate's Mark Ryan. Join me and Ingles
Look.
every Thursday from 3 to 7.
Oh, I can't play. I promise the stream is up. It won't play it on screen share, but it's up. I promise. I was hoping we were going to have like streamception there for a second. Austin says your energy is the whole reason I listen to this show every day. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's what we're going for. That's what I was going for.
Evaluation and procedures are free of charge. Compensation up to $1,210 is provided. Strictly confidential. If you're interested, call 864-898-2992 or find us at facebook.com/BHS Research DEPT. Sponsored by MUSC.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Voted one of America's top haunts and #1 in South Carolina. Venture through the haunted house and trail full of elaborate sets, special effects, and top-notch actors. Play our creepy carnival games and escape rooms, or check out.
I think it was still down when I hopped over to YouTube, so I'll just. It's not. It doesn't say it's down. Also, look at that picture of Keegan. Look at that picture of Keegan. The old Subway arms crossed badass picture. I love it. I love it. Look at that guy. You ever go down Wikipedia rabbit holes? Like you read something and then you just click on a blue link and then you're reading and learning about something else?
Yeah, except for Wikipedia is not always accurate.
I'd say it's 96% accurate.
You just pulled that number just out of nowhere, did you?
You know, like 67% of statistics are made up on the spot. I have rarely found.
I just looked up why my middle finger is sore from bowling. But I can honestly say the majority of the things I look up, someone else has already looked up enough that it pops up as I'm starting to type it. So, which makes you feel a lot better about yourself.
Oh, so I'm not a total weirdo. Sweet. So I ended up on the Wikipedia page about specifically the Green Monster at Fenway, right? Because I was like, why? Just why? At the game last week, I noticed that there was a ladder on the Green Monster.
Yeah.
And it's just there. And it's like, it's up above the scoreboard. It's about, 17 feet up in the air.
It's like the ladder on a water tower.
Right. And I wondered, like, why is that there? Like, why is that ladder? I'll show you guys what I'm talking about on the stream. So that
For
ladder,
escape purposes.
right. So to the left of where the scoreboard ends, between the scoreboard and the WDB Mason advertisement there, right?
15 seconds.
I was like, why is that ladder there? It turns out that back in the 20s, there were no seats on top of the Monster. The Monster was the end of the stadium. So if you hit a home run, it went and it would hit the storefronts. So they used to have a big net up on top of it. And that ladder was so after home runs, workers could climb up it to get the home run ball out of the net.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, they don't have that anymore, but they decided to leave the ladder as a historical memory. Thanks again to Joe Giglio of BetQL for joining us on the show. Very much appreciate that. Phone lines are back open for you. Next segment, we'll take some calls. All right. Paul Feinbaum said Dabo's dynasty is done, and I agree with him. I think Clemson's in trouble. And I'm not saying that Dabo will never return to national prominence, that Clemson won't return to national prominence. They've built a dynasty of a program, and every now and then you got to have some bad years. Look at Alabama. Alabama was bad for a long time before Nick Saban got there, and he bailed them out, and he saved them. And now they're back on the top. I'm not saying Clemson won't have that happen to them. What I am saying is that ultimately, when it is all said and done, this bit of the circle, right? College football is a circle. It rotates. It's a circle. College football is a circle. Let me do this. Let me get Jimmy in here because he held on. We've got Jimmy. I got about a minute and 20 seconds for you. If you want to hold on, you can. But if you got something for me, go ahead and give it to me.
Okay, so I'm a Gamecocks fan. And so it sounds like I'm supporting the Clemson Tigers, but I don't think Clemson should hit the panic button. It's obvious they still have talent. They held a great Georgia team to no points on offense. They gave it up on a pick six. I think they were overreacting to losing to Georgia. They've had some key injuries on defense, like Brian Brzee, and they lost Will Shipley, who was a freshman they were counting on. So they just need to struggle through the season and don't hit the panic button.
Don't hit the panic button, says Jimmy. Says relax. It's all an overreaction to losing to Georgia. Cool. But you know they lost to NC State too, right? Double overtime game a couple of weeks ago. It's if the only loss was to Georgia and all the other games were, and that was a close game, right? They played a close game against arguably the best team in the country right now. Mark Ryan's got Georgia ahead of Alabama as the best team in the country, and he might not be wrong. I'm not even disagreeing with him. But I'm saying the games against bad teams have been close consistently. 3 weeks in a row. That's that I don't know. I don't think pushing the panic button for Clemson is unfair right now because they are not getting better. What's one thing I say I always look for? Show me improvement. Not dubs, improvement. Can anybody say Clemson is improved week to week? Because I can't. Talk more about it coming up on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. Did you see my Twitter back and forth between my old co-host?
Rob Brown Show, what do you want to talk about?
It's a 4:37 first pitch. Game 2 Saturday at 5:07 Eastern. The series shifts to Atlanta next Monday night. Charlie Morton, the likely Game 1 starter.
Okay, I'll let him know.
First pitch at Fenway Park between the Red Sox and the Yankees. Right-hander Garrett Cole starts for New York against Boston. Right-hander Nathan Eovaldi.
Okay, I will pass that on. All right, thanks, Jimmy. He says that what he was saying is they played poorly since losing to Georgia,
Gotcha.
including that, and
gotcha. Okay.
yeah, and that they need to change quarterbacks probably.
Okay. What has it meant to you to see an elevation of black wrestlers at that level of professional wrestling and knowing that you are a part of
I would love to participate in this back and forth that you're doing, but I'm the Undertaker. What do I? Yes. QC Kinetics in first break. And I have everything set up for you for the next show.
Perfect. Till 6, right?
No, I have it set up through 7.
Right. But I got to bail at 6.
You said a little bit after 6.
6:15, 6:30 is fine.
Yeah, it's going to be me.
That's fine. No,
I have to come back. Yeah. You are helping me out, so I am not going to leave you hanging. Although I rather enjoyed the look on the panic at your face.
I mean, I'm trying to help.
Why would I not set it up all the way through the end of the? I just.
All right, the final, the best hour of the Rob Brown Show is right here on ESPN Upstate. What's happening? Upstate South Carolina. I am Rob Brown, the great one. Lonzo directly across the glass from me, both metaphorically and literally. Glad to have you along for the ride. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. Start your text with ESPN. Here's a few that have come in so far today. Texter says, welcome back, Rob. Volume is A-OK for me today. Sweet! That's because Lonzo's really good with that little slider over there.
It's called a fader, Rob.
He's really good with that little fader over there. That's what I said.
I have to fade on occasion for you. And nice fade that you have on your hair, by the way.
Thanks very much.
You're
My
welcome.
man, can I give a free plug? My man Aaron did this for me over at Oxford Barbershop. Cut me up good, man. Good.
I'm curious how
That's why I haven't worn a hat in a week and a half.
How long does it take to make that front thing stay, you know?
I have two options, which is option number one. I cut it really short because it takes me 2 minutes to get it ready to go out, or I let it grow out, but I wear a hat 95% of the time. Those are the two options. Right now, I'm in the former.
Yeah. You didn't answer my question. So that front thing.
About 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
all right.
Little product.
Okay, that's what I needed to know, you know. So
ducktail.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm considering doing a mohawk and just leaving my hair as long as it is.
Have that, man.
And go for that spiky thing.
I approve of your decision. Texter says, ESPN, I don't want Lonzo to be concerned about my groin. He is. He was concerned about the groins of the entire San Diego Charger team last night. Don't tell me I'm wrong. You said it. You said it.
I don't think I did say that.
You said.
And I don't think you can prove that I said that.
You know I can. Okay.
How could you prove that I said what you're saying I said? It isn't like there's a podcast that you could go back on and
ESPNUpstate.com/pod. No, it's not /podcast. Go to I don't know what the alternate link. Just go to ESPNUpstate.com, and in the middle of the page there's a button that says podcast. Go back and listen to the first segment of the show today.
I just want to prove that I'm a broadcast professional, and I was trying to go away, and you just didn't want to go there, and didn't realize that I was using myself as a joke to to push the podcast.
And I appreciate it. Go listen to the first segment of the show. You will hear the most incredible segment that you have heard.
I'm concerned.
Talked about Rob Gronkowski and 69.
I am concerned about body parts all over the place, and what could happen if someone inadvertently spiked the ball. Well, it wouldn't be inadvertently. They spiked the ball purposefully, and it may go a certain direction and might injure a body part on an innocent bystander or bystander.
They might lose their groin.
They could lose their groin. Among other things. Lose it.
It's just gone.
You can lose it. It would be completely removed from the well, when something's injured beyond repair, you have to have it removed. So yes.
Texter says, as far as the cool kids club, I feel like Paul Feinbaum seems like the kind of guy who's on the outside looking in. Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Paul Feinbaum's a dork.
Yeah, you can't.
I say this is a dork.
You can't have ears like that and be cool.
No,
in any room. You just can't.
He's a dork. And he's wrong most of the time. Another texter says Paul is just trying to boost more recruits toward the SEC to help out his conference. You may not be wrong on that, honestly. You might not be wrong, but it doesn't make what he said incorrect. If you say something that is correct, but say it with an agenda, it doesn't mean what you said is incorrect. Now, you may not like the reason that it was said at the moment it was said. You might be right that this is Paul trying to boost the SEC a little bit, but it doesn't make what he said incorrect.
All right, I have a question for you as a person of science, as a haughty intellectual. How many years of being on top does it a dynasty make? Because we're discussing, is this the end of a dynasty? Was it ever a dynasty for Clemson?
I'd say 5. I'd say 5 years makes you a dynasty. I'd say 2 or 3 is a good run. 5's a dynasty. Anything over that is historic.
Because I remember a 5-year period where a certain team in the middle of the state or somewhere close to the middle of the state beat Clemson 5 years in a row. So, and I'm not saying it's a dynasty. It could be considered dynastic, the beating that was put on Clemson every year. During that time, Clemson, what Georgia. They kept them from scoring a touchdown, all that kind of stuff. But mentally, Clemson was done after they lost to Georgia. That's been a major problem. Mentally,
I mean, I don't think you're wrong per se, right? Like and I have to apologize because what Jimmy called back and said what he was trying to say was that the fan reaction isn't a reaction to losing Georgia. He said that what's happening on the field for Clemson is a reaction to losing Georgia. But here's the thing. A great team doesn't lose a close game to another great team and then go on a 3-game skid after it. And I'm not saying you don't even have a hangover game, right? They got the hell beat out of them against Georgia. And they beat the hell out of Georgia too. They got the hell beat out of against Georgia. A hangover game happens. Hangover games happen to great teams. Trap games happen to great teams and hangover games. But you know what the difference is between a good team and a great team? Great teams get through the hangover games and then start progressing back up. I've asked this question 3 times today. And I have not gotten an answer. I've not gotten an answer from Clemson fans yet. Would any of you right now, heading into week 6 of the college football season, would any of you say that there has been consistent? Would any of you say that Clemson has shown improvement? I would say this. There are 2 bright spots for the Clemson Tigers right now. The defense remains the heart and soul of this team. And they've played well.
But they're getting beat up pretty bad.
They are getting beat because they're on the field so damn much. Now, again, as I pointed out yesterday on the show, Clemson deserves props for some numbers in Saturday's game last weekend. 438 yards of offense, their second most this season. The only other team they outpaced was against South Carolina State. All right. But against Power 5 teams, most yards they put up on the season this year. They held Boston College to 4.8 yards per play, still have not allowed an opponent to average 5 or more yards in a game. They held Boston College to 46 rushing yards. Boston College, here's where that stat matters. BC was undefeated and had rushed Lonzo for at least 178 rushing yards in each of their first 4 games of the season, ranked 2nd in the ACC. Listen to this number, Lonzo. 220.5 rushing yards per game. I don't care if you're in the ACC. 220 yards a game is redonk on the ground. Clemson held them to 46. 46! 100 and what is that? 60 yards fewer on the ground than they average. Defense deserves props. Kobe Pace deserves props. A $125, 19 carries in a touchdown, 41 receiving yards on 2 grabs, and 44 return yards on 2 kickoff returns. 210 all-purpose yards, representing Clemson's first 200-yard all-purpose performance since a guy named Travis Etienne did it against Boston College a year ago. Kobe Pace represented 125 yards on 19 carries. It was the first 100-yard rushing performance of the season since Travis Etienne's 124 against Notre Dame in the ACC title game last year. The run game looked good. Since Lynn J. Dixon decided to transfer, Kobe Pace has absolutely stepped up to fill that void. There are some good things happening. But go back and look at that game. Even with those numbers, Lonzo, would you say Clemson dominated that game? Would you say they were in control of that game?
No.
Of course you wouldn't, because they weren't. Right? Because they weren't. I might hear an argument that Clemson looked better from week 3 to week 4 based on these numbers, based on the stats. Sure. But would a Clemson fan tell me that since the Georgia loss, Clemson has gotten better week by week? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would you say that they improved from last year to this year? Of course they didn't. Of course not. Obviously they didn't. Duh. It's the duhest thing I've ever said.
Yeah, but the first thing people will point out, yeah, well, Trevor Lawrence left, arguably the best quarterback in Clemson history. Travis Etienne left, arguably the best running back in Clemson history. Of course, they're not going to be at the same level, but Clemson in the last couple of years has managed to either go up a level or maintain where they were, and this year they have not. And this is where you will see a lot of the fair weather fans. I forget what did I call them? The
fair weather fans?
No, I called them flags something.
Oh, I don't know.
The fringe flaggers, I think might have been it. Or yeah, but anyway, this is when those guys go away, and when you start to see diminishing crowds in the stands for Clemson. But the hardcore people are still going to be there because they do have some hardcore fans. But some of them are unrealistic in thinking that there's nothing wrong with the team when there's stuff wrong everywhere with this team. And losing will point out some things that maybe were there the last couple of years, but you were blinded by the talent that was on the field and didn't see them.
They were blinded by the light. I mean, revved up like a deuce. Another roller in the night.
At least that wasn't a show tune. Thanks. That is in my head now. The Deuce is a car, by the way.
I think it's a truck. It's a truck, right?
Deuce
and a half's a truck.
It's a vehicle.
It's a vehicle.
Not the thing that you were thinking
of.
Not that thing.
Yeah. Not this issue.
Okay.
Yeah. Texas says ESPN bandwagon. No, listen, when you're on top, you got bandwagon fans. I remember after the Saints won the Super Bowl, I was going to the University of West Florida. And I remember rolling up to classes like the next Thursday because I took off for like 2 days. I was full on recovery mode. No reason. Remember rolling up on a campus and all of a sudden there were Saints jerseys everywhere. Like, get out of here, son. Texas says, really wait. So when Clemson is good, it gets little credit from either of you. And now you want to slam them. Make me a bicycle, clowns.
This is the guy I'm talking about. These guys. These are the guys who don't really listen when Clemson is given all the praise that they've gotten from both of us. I will say over and over and continue to say, I do not like Clemson fans. But Clemson has been dominant for the last few years. There's a reason why they've been in the conversation for national championship and have won championships.
Yeah.
It's not about Clemson. We're talking about you.
That's a bad take. All right. You are engaged in what we call confirmation bias. You have decided that we don't like Clemson, so then you just only hear when we criticize Clemson. We are not the Clemson station. We never have been. We never will be. It's never been our goal to be the Clemson station. But if you think we have never said good things about Clemson, you're wrong. You're wrong. I picked Clemson over Ohio State last year. You're wrong.
I picked Clemson over everybody but
wrong, Texter. You're wrong. Also, what does make me a bicycle clowns mean? That is the most interesting insult I've ever heard. Don't know what it means. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Texter says ESPN Clemson has shown definitely zero improvement. I've seen degradation. Again, I think the stats say they improved last week, but I watched that game and I mean, again, I expect you to dominate Boston College, right? That's what that is. For the previous texter, that is me having high expectations of Clemson because I believe that they should be a good team. It is not my fault they're not.
All right, I had to look this up. Make me a bicycle clown is a reference from Wedding Crashers.
Somebody please kill me. You will listen to every damn word I have to say. Also, Wedding Singer references.
No, see, I said Wedding Crashers, and you're going Wedding Singer.
I went Wedding Singer.
Yeah, you did.
Different wedding noun. Damn it. I am off my game today.
Yeah, and I would say, in my opinion, Wedding Singer is better than Wedding Crashers.
I liked Wedding Crashers, but Wedding Singer is probably one of like 3 Adam Sandler movies I actually like. Texas says ESPN, Clemson scored its most points of the season against an FBS team. Hashtag improvement, LOL. Texas says, according to Webster, Florida State University defined a dynasty in the ACC for roughly 2 decades. Don't tell Mark. Texas says, ESPN Upstate, Paul Feinbaum is clickbait. I agree with that take 99% of the time. 99% of the time, I think Paul Feinbaum is clickbait. And that's for somebody with an ESPN Upstate logo on the shirt.
By the way, our job is to be clickbait. And that's his job, and he does it well. There's a reason why he's where he is. Love him or hate him.
Texas says, push up, Robs. You said San Diego Chargers. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to break my entire life's habit. That's on me.
Wait. There's a push-up thing that goes along with this?
Yeah, I'm in trouble, so I got to do push-ups.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I thought
I'm
it was,
not doing
I thought there was an agreed upon amount.
If I get down on the floor to do push-ups, this boom mic will have to extend out of the floor because I don't know I'm getting back up.
I'm not sure to go down that far.
Texter says, I haven't seen this much concern for men's groins since Mia Khalifa retired. Beautiful. ESPN, Clemson should take that rock in the stadium and slam it down on the panic button and tie it with number 2 baling wire. Very specific, and I like it.
Well, you got to tie it down because people try to break in and take pieces of it for some reason. Yeah, it's weird.
Let's see what else we got on text on here. ESPN, I always thought they said wrapped up like can we, that's not a bad word, right? We can say that.
Don't say it because everyone.
Revved up, not wrapped up.
See, I always thought it said wrapped up also.
Revved up because, again, a deuce and a half is a car with an engine. And
it makes sense. Yeah, it does.
Another roller in the night. ESPN, wow, I can't believe y'all would praise Clemson while they're doing well. Why do y'all hate the Gamecocks so much? What a joke.
What show are you?
I believe that text should have included parentheses, sarcasm, close parentheses.
Oh, okay.
ESPN texter still trying to figure out what confirmation bias is by only looking at previous sources that already agree with him. Us haughty intellectuals already know that logical fallacy.
For what?
All right, 844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776. Let's come back here in just a minute from right now. I want to talk about Lane Kiffin for a second. Because Lane Kiffin apologized for something yesterday that I don't think he had to. And then I'm going to clarify. No jokes. Okay, there's going to be jokes. But I'm going to clarify my position on Urban Meyer. Because I sat in on Mark's show yesterday, and there are some people that were wildly misconstruing where I was coming from about Herb. So I'll clarify that. All that more coming up on the Rob Brown Show, ESPN Upstate.
QC Connects.
Sean Conn looks like a Saturday Night Live character.
What?
Sean Conn looks like a Saturday Night Live character.
I was thinking a wrestling manager.
Yeah. QC Kinetics wants you to feel better, faster, naturally, and without having to go under the knife. That's what they're here for. They want you to be able to enjoy your life without the fear of pain. You know what I'm talking about. When you go walk 13 miles around New York City, when you go play 2 rounds of golf in a day because you're feeling bold, when the grandkids come over and they want to roughhouse in the living room and you roll around, but then you go, oh, God, my back is going to hurt so bad tomorrow. My hips are going to be killing me. My legs, my knees, they're going to be hurting so bad. Well, they don't want you to have to deal with that anymore. They offer non-surgical regenerative therapies. These therapies help to heal the connective tissue in your joints. When that connective tissue goes away, stuff starts rubbing against each other and it causes inflammation, and that's where that pain comes from. So they help to restore that connective tissue so that stops. And that inflammation goes away and the pain goes away. And then they help retrain your body on how to effectively restore that connective tissue moving forward so that you don't have to be afraid of living your regular day-to-day life moving forward ever again. Okay? It's just that simple. Want to learn more about it? Of course you do. Of course you do, because you don't want to deal with that pain. So go to QCkinetics.com, QCkinetics.com, QCkinetics.com. You can read all about the science there. You know, I'm a science nerd. You can learn how it works there, and Hear testimonials from dozens and dozens and dozens of folks that have gotten that non-surgical regenerative therapy and have gotten back to their life. Call them, 864-448-3772, 864-448-3772. Mention the Rob Brown Show. Get that first consultation for free. It's our friends at QC Kinetics.
All right, you will appreciate this. So I saw George Clooney, why he's not going to be in the Flash movie. And he says, because they didn't ask me. Clooney then said, when you destroy a franchise the way I did, usually they look the other way when the Flash comes by. Clooney's wife, Amal, let me watch it. And then Clooney said, there are certain films I just go, I want my wife to have some respect for me.
I love that.
Pitch at Fenway Park between the Red Sox and the Yankees. Right-hander Garrett Cole starts for New York against Boston right-hander Nate Alvey. 1.1 airs Carolina Panthers football every Sunday. Carolina kickoff starts 2 hours before kickoff. Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
Throwing his bottle now. Poorly.
Brick.
Counting on you for the rebound.
When speaking about sports, but let's talk about your future wife. She is the GOAT in your eyes, and when it's time to make her your wife and tell her you truly love her, thank you for your ring buying journey. Free customization, financing, and a lifetime warranty are all part of the Scatella's experience, and you truly will appreciate it. Jewelers.com. At Ingram, we're proud to partner with Wofford Athletics to bring you the very best of Terrier sports. And we're also proud to bring great game-day options to the Golden Black faithful. At Newtown, crisp, fresh produce, ice. Up for that road trip. Eagles, a proud sponsor of the Wofford Terriers.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You could save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Voted one of America's top haunts and #1 in South Carolina. Venture through the haunted house and trail full of elaborate sets, special effects, and top-notch actors. Play our creepy carnival games and escape rooms, or check out our brand new 18-hole Ghost Town mini golf. Grab your friends and get ready to scream. Located in Piedmont off I-85 exit 35. Buy your tickets now at madworldattractions.com. That's madworldattractions.com.
You want to know what wagertainment is? It's the picks, the analysis, the information, mixed with the laughter and the entertainment, smart sports betting content. That'll put a smile on your face.
The BetQL Network, streaming live each day and helping you bet smarter.
If you're a sports fan, you know why you should listen? It's sports betting content without the BS. No hot takes, no nonsense.
The BetQL Network, streaming live right now on Odyssey.
Sports, bets, and entertainment.
There is going to be a new Ghost Recon.
I'm in. Those were always really good games.
And it's going to have Battle Royale. And it's
Every combat game's got Battle Royale now.
I never play those. So I think the only thing like that online that I've played has been the Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Online stuff, because I had so much fun with that. Because if you take a Krogan, he has this rush headbutt thing, and you could steal kills from people. And I would just go around doing it and just hear him just getting so ticked off about it. It was hilarious.
There was never anything as toxic as like the old Call of Duty public lobbies where you could hear everybody after you killed them and the things that people would say about my mother.
Trolling is an art.
It absolutely is. All right, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob Alonzo and you, 844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776. Real quick segment here. If you missed it, before the Alabama Ole Miss game, Lane Kiffin was on the Television talking with CBS sideline reporter Jamie Erdahl, and she asked him a question where he was, he was just kind of aggressive in his answer. And he said, I don't know, but you're going to, he ended by saying, get your popcorn ready. And then he just kind of took off the headset and threw it towards the cameraman. And it was overly aggressive. All right. I'll acknowledge that. It was overly aggressive, a little much. I mean, the cameraman didn't do anything to you. Jimmy Erdahl didn't do anything to you. If you're done with the interview, just say, hey, I appreciate the time. I got to take the headset off, hand it to them and walk on. But, as I said yesterday on Offsides, and Lonzo will confirm, competition, especially when you're in a competition to the level of Lane Kiffin against Nick Saban at Alabama, competition, if you are a competitive person, can get in your head and make you not act right. You know what I mean?
It just sounds like I haven't seen it, but it sounds like professional wrestling to me.
Yeah, it kind of was.
That's how you end the interview.
It kind of was. He just kind of took his headset off, tossed it to the cameraman. And then he walked away, and that was it. All right. And that was it. Well, Alabama did two things in response. The first thing they did, and I thought this was incredibly impressive. Big Al is the mascot for Alabama, the big elephant, the big mascot elephant that walks around. They went, Lonzo, and I don't know how the hell they had this ready. But after Lane Kiffin said, get your popcorn ready, and walked off the coach's team, after Alabama went up like 24-0 or whatever it was, Big Al came out of the tunnels, though, in a big popcorn box. He had a big costume popcorn box, for some reason pre-made, just laying around. Big Al's got wardrobe changes. Big Al wardrobe changed into a big popcorn box and came out and started dancing around in the Ole Miss lens. That, Lonzo, is A+ trolling from Big Al and the University of Alabama.
I agree, but is it, though?
Yes.
Talking about this could be where did Lane Kiffin used to work?
Alabama.
He used to work at Alabama.
There's
so
absolutely a little headbutt between
You're missing the point. I'm thinking collusion, not headbutting there. You set that up. You're just setting them up for a good time.
Now, look, I've been around mascots for a long time. And at these levels, right? At these levels, these mascots all have like tons of uniform changes, with the exception of like the Notre Dame Leprechaun. They all the big dude in a elephant.
That's because he's real. You can't, if you're a leprechaun, you can't.
Okay. The big animal mascots, they almost, but it was hilarious to me that he said, get your popcorn ready. And then Big Al comes out of it. So that was the first thing Alabama did to troll Nick Saban, or to troll Lane Kiffin. And again, they deserve all the credit because it was absolutely hysterical. It blew up Twitter for a minute. The second thing that the University of Alabama did to troll Lane Kiffin, Lonzo, was kick his ass. All right? They smoked him. 42-21 in a game that, frankly, wasn't that close. All right? In a game that, frankly, wasn't that close. 451 yards, 291 for Ole Miss, mostly gained later in the game against Alabama's backups. 210 rushing yards for Alabama, 78 for Ole Miss. Alabama averaged 6 yards per play, 27 first downs, 3 of 4 on first downs. They ran 13 plays more than Ole Miss did. In fact, I think that was the first game that Alabama had run more than 55-ish plays in the game. They ran 76 against Ole Miss because they were just grinding it down the third. Alabama punted one time in that game. They gave the ball away one time, and they controlled the time of possession 37-22. Now, Lane Kiffin came out and has apologized for that comment. He said, quote, "I said something really stupid," end quote. Lonzo, Lane Kiffin doesn't need to apologize, all right? College football needs more Lane Kiffins. That's why I love Shane Beamer, right? That comment about Georgia's defense from a couple of weeks ago after that game, I said, Coach, Georgia's defense, like, what did they do to make it tough on your offense today? And Shane said, well, they got like 100 5-star players over there. That's great content. That's great content. I love coaches like Lane Kiffin. The college football would be better with more coaches like Lane Kiffin and less coaches, frankly, like Nick Saban when he's on duty. Because Nick Saban was on with Peyton and Eli during Monday Night Football last week, and it was hilarious. Hilarious. Nick Saban's that serious guy who's like unintentionally funny, but still really funny. I want more Lane Kiffins. I want more coaches with attitude who have fun and look like them enjoying themselves. And also laugh it off when they take a butt whooping. To me, Lane Kiffin doesn't need to apologize to anybody because the only people that could have offended was Alabama. And so I'd say Alabama, they went ahead and took their apology right out of Lane Kiffin's backside. All right? Lane Kiffin doesn't need to apologize, and we, as college football fans, don't need to discourage guys like Lane Kiffin from being guys like Lane Kiffin. College football is infinitely more fun and interesting with characters like Lane Kiffin, because all of a sudden, I know there are a lot of people that were picking Ole Miss to upset Alabama. I think those people are, well, bad at picking. And I am a guy who's picking like 53% on the year. If you picked Ole Miss over Alabama, you're nuts, all right? You're crazy. Call me next time. I'll help save you some dollars. But all of a sudden, when that comment started making the rounds on social media, when Lane Kiffin said, get your popcorn ready and threw the headset, all of a sudden, though, a game that I really didn't have a ton of interest in because I thought Alabama was going to absolutely dog walk Ole Miss, and they did. But all of a sudden, that game had a little drama to it. That game had a little intrigue to it. All of a sudden, I had a little reason to watch that game. Because if that comment made it to Nick Saban and his boys and became bulletin board material minutes before the game started, they were going to be fired up. And if Lane Kiffin had enough in his back pocket to be that confident in that moment against that team in that stadium, I want to see what old Joey Freshwater's got cooked up in the back pocket. That's what I want to see. That game suddenly had a drama and an intrigue to it that, to me, didn't exist until 5 minutes before kickoff. Lonzo, we should not be discouraging guys like Lane. We should not be coming after guys like Lane. And we damn sure should not be forcing an unneeded, unwanted, unwarranted apology out of Lane Kiffin. We should be encouraging college football to find more Mike Leaches and Mike Gundys and Lane Kiffins, because I got to tell you, the Sunset Bowl, I don't care. Hell, the Cotton Bowl is irrelevant to me as a college football fan. But you know what does get me going? You know what does get me interested? Lane Kiffin, 10 seconds before the bell rings, looking Roman Reigns in his face and saying, get your popcorn ready because I'm about to do something to you. Okay, now I'm in. That's a burn.
All right, so I don't believe any of this from Lane Kiffin because I think he's a showman, and I think that he's doing all this for a reason. I think
I've missed this so much.
I believe
You might not be wrong, right? You might be wrong. USC's open. Old Lane's looking. Plus, he gets to get out of the SEC West. Maybe you're right. You might not be wrong. Here's what I also know. If Joey Freshwater, Lane Kiffin wins that game, Lonzo, if he wins that game, get your popcorn ready, becomes a college football phenomenon for the rest of the year. Ole Miss fans start throwing popcorn around the stadium. Every time that there's an upset for the remainder of the year, we say, get your popcorn ready. If Ole Miss finds a way to win that game, get your popcorn ready becomes the catchphrase for college football this year. And Lane Kiffin becomes the guy who delivered it and a face in college football. And here's the thing. I think you're right. Joey Freshwater is part showman, part football coach. And I think he's undervalued as a football coach. I think he's a good one. Okay, I think he's one of the better X's and O guys out there. And if he ever finds a place to get the talent around him for a second chance, now that he has grown up a little bit, I think he'll be okay. But here's a fact. Lonzo, who coached Ole Miss before Lane Kiffin?
I don't know.
Correct. Most people don't, because Ole Miss has not been on the map since they were rivals with LSU in the 60s and 70s. All right? They've had a couple of seasons where they've had a good run, and then they get trounced in the end of the season by another SEC West team, Auburn or Alabama or LSU or all three. Okay? We have talked more about Ole Miss in this segment than I would be willing to bet. So any host on this station has talked about Ole Miss for years, if ever. Lane Kiffin did exactly what he wants, which is get Ole Miss on the map. And here we are, and I love it. Give me more Mike Leaches. Give me more Mike Gundy's when he's not being an idiot off the field. Give me more Lane Kiffins. Give me more characters. Give me more drama. Give me more storylines that aren't, well, we just need to come out this weekend and play a good game. Got to have the rushing game play well. We're going to call on the defense a lot. And, we play the game on the field, not on paper. God, it's the dumbest cliche in sports outside of next man up. Lane didn't give us. Lane could have said, Alabama's a real good team. This is a tough place to play, and we're just going to go out there and grind the best we could. They don't play the games on paper. They play them on the field, and we're going to give Alabama our best shot, and hopefully we'll get out of here with a win. But what did he say? Get your damn popcorn ready. If he wins that game, he is an icon in Ole Miss. An icon. It backfired. So what? Let him live. Quick break. After this, some of y'all missed my point with Herb yesterday. Some of y'all missed my point. I'm going to elaborate on it. We're not going to get deep into it. Just a quick 4 minutes. Some of y'all missed my point. What am I upset about, Herb? Is it the drinking? No. Is it the hanging out with the young lady? Hell no. Y'all missed my point. I'll explain it when I come back on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters and a game and a tie. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs and overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you looking for the perfect spot to spend your game day? Head to Twin Peaks, where the 29-degree draft beer is flowing, the kitchen is bursting with made-from-scratch fan favorites, and the game is blasting from every angle. This is how we do football season.
The Birds Rose play on ESPN Upstate.
It's Friday night. The Rebels return to action. It's Burns Friday night on ESPN Upstate.
Powered by your local Ingles Market. Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Don't miss your chance to experience South Carolina's #1 haunted house. Located in Piedmont off I-85, exit 35. Buy tickets now at madworldattractions.com. That's madworldattractions.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems. If you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
A deeper connection with water can change your life, and that's what the home's first smart water network does. It turns your everyday routine into a customized experience.
Moen, fill the baby's bottle.
And it can stop a catastrophic leak with a simple water designs our life. Who designs the water? Moen. Get that satisfying crunch. Now with 20% more honey.
Texter says, please explain yourself, Rob. I've been around a lot of mascots. Are you admitting to being a furry? You jerk.
Are you saying you have an aversion to, or you dislike furries? I mean,
all right. So you've heard my philosophy, which is let people live. Let them do whatever they want. I don't care. You got one life. You got one spin around the sun, and then it's done. Do what you want to do. Enjoy your life. There's one exception to that rule, which is furries. I'll never get it. I'll never understand it. I've tried. I have actually talked to someone who is in the furry lifestyle, and after a long conversation, because my thing is always, don't judge someone until you talk to them. You do not know what has happened in their life to get them to where they are. I had about a 15, 20-minute conversation with a guy who is a furry, because I was like, I genuinely want to understand why you are this way. And after 15, 20 minutes of conversation with this guy, I walked away more confused than I went in, and with the feeling that of my let everybody live and do their life, furries are the one group that I'm like, nope, y'all got to stop. Y'all weird. Y'all got to stop. Y'all got to join us in the stream. God, it gets weird in the stream sometimes.
that was pretty weird. It was.
Yeah, I know. In the last segment, I said I've been around mascots a lot because I've covered college football games for 15 years now. I've been to some games, and I get to do, because this job is incredible, I get to do cool stuff like take tours of campuses and go into locker rooms, et cetera, et cetera. And I've gotten the opportunity. I have gotten the opportunity to see like mascot equipment rooms, put on mascot heads like Lee Corso, but not as cool. Texter said, ESPN. Please explain yourself, Rob. I've been around a lot of mascots. Are you admitting to being a furry? Stop it. No. All right. Y'all have heard my philosophy of live and let live. Let people do what they want to do. We get a few short years to spin around the sun, and then you're dead, and that's it. You don't get to do anything anymore. So do what you want to do. With one exception, furries. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't like it. I never will like it. Stop.
See, to me, furries are introversion, and they're looking for a place to belong, a place where they feel like they're okay, they're safe within the costume, and they can go out and be what they want to be without the costume on. And so they've found like-minded people, and they're able to communicate with those people and feel like they're okay.
Then go to Key West.
Not everyone has that kind of money, Rob.
Go to Party City.
All places where you need to be scantily clad and expressive in that way, which goes totally against what I was talking about. People who are introverts, they're unhappy with everything about them, but if they can put something on that and project what they want the personality to be,
a 6-foot tall furry dog.
It's hiding in plain sight.
Just put on a Captain America costume and walk around like the rest of us.
Your face is still visible as Captain America.
All right.
I am.
Lonzo hates football spikes, loves furries.
And the furries are also a fan of the Upstate Pulse. So that may have something to do with it.
Okay.
Might
fair
be
enough.
self-serving.
A little bias there. ESPN, Alonzo, this is not the topic for you to be the devil's advocate. All right, let me clarify this Urban Meyer thing, because real quick. All right. I was reading earlier a take from Sam Acho, who I am a fan of, right? We played an Acho segment 2 weeks ago, Acho's Machos. I love Sam Acho. He did a full Macho Man Randy Savage impression on ESPN, and not only got away, but turned it into a whole segment. I love Sam Acho.
And was in full costume also.
Yeah.
Gotta remember that.
Love it. But he tweeted out earlier today, we've gotten far too comfortable condemning people who get caught in public doing what we do in private. Sam, you have missed the mark, my man. You have missed the mark entirely. Here's what I said yesterday.
Didn't look private to me.
Didn't look private to me at all. Here's what I said yesterday. Here's what I'll say one more time. I don't care what Urban does in his personal life. I'm not even judging the fact that he was rubbing up on some young 25-year-old chick. I don't care. Okay? I genuinely don't care. Because as I said a minute ago, I don't know what goes on with Herb and his wife in their marriage. There are people who are in open marriages, and they are perfectly happy. Their spouse goes off and sleeps around and whatever, and they don't care. I know a person who is in a relationship where his significant other is asexual. She has zero interest in that intimate part of their life. So he, as the husband, goes and gets to go out and go home with other women and gets to be intimate with them. Not intimate, but you know what I mean, with them. And then come home, and the wife literally does not care because she's like, I love you, I want to be with you, but I can't give you that part of my life, so go get it somewhere else. And they're perfectly happy together. Shelly might be that way with Herb. I don't know, and I don't care. That's not what people are banging on Herb for. All right? People are upset with Herb because of the sheer irresponsibility of the way that he engaged in the situation, handled it, lied about it at the press conference. They're mad about the fact that he is an NFL coach who lost another game with a young team that he is supposed to be and is trying to pull together. And what does he do? He puts them on the plane back to Florida without the head coach. No breakdown, no talk, no discussion. He just left them. He just left them. That's bad form. Then he went out to hang out with his grandkids. Cool, man. Didn't look like that. Then, they were trying to drag me on the dance floor. Really, Herb? Because I'm an expert in body language in bars. I've been studying it for many, many years. 21 of them, to be precise. Definitely only 21 at 36 years of age. 25, sorry. I'm bad at math. Herb was sitting sideways in a chair next to the bar with his young lady in between his thighs with his hands on her. That is not the body language of a man who's being dragged into a situation. That's the that's the body language of a man who has pole vaulted into that situation. And I use that phrase hilariously. Here's the reality. Herb acted irresponsibly for a man who has the responsibilities of head coach in the National Football League, who has been entrusted with the worst franchise in the league and was declared the guy to drag them out of the sewer into prominence, and was gifted a guy that many of us believe has the talent potential to be the next big thing at that position in the NFL. And how does he handle it? Like crap. Like everywhere else that he has been. Okay? Like everywhere else that he has been. Like garbage, irresponsibly, unacceptably, and then lied about it at his press conference. You can try to tell me he didn't, but did that look like a man who was being dragged into a circumstance? No. That's a man who was very happy in that circumstance, which is fine. This has nothing to do with his personal life or personal decisions, and everything to do with the level of responsibility that he holds in the position that he holds with the paycheck that he gets. That's it, Sam. That's all. Everything Herb did in that video, I have done and will admit to publicly, shamelessly. I don't care about that. That's not the way a head coach acts. You don't want the job? You want to go to bars and hit on hot young chicks? then go coach an FCS team and do it there where nobody cares. Twitter next. Back up to this. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's ESPN Upstate. No read for you here?
Do what?
Is it no read for you here? You always have a read going into Twitter.
I already did it.
Not going into the. You always did one in the last.
It's not always.
It's most of the time.
It is most of the time, but not today. They had it scheduled
God,
earlier.
I said 25 years instead of 15. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
I'm an idiot.
Hey, I don't know when you were allowed to go
Technically
where
not-
you
that's
went.
correct, because my dad used to bring me to the Boathouse Oyster Bar when I was a kid.
So, yeah, we
Because it
don't
was
know.
a bar. It was a bar and restaurant, but it was a bar. I have,
Trust me, Rob. I got my 2 reads in. I did.
I have started getting advertisements for bowling shirts on Facebook.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then
It's going to be good to have you back. Then your loudness will hide me. So I'm glad for that.
Happy to be here, buddy.
Question is, will Diesel be back? Because he'll be here. That doesn't mean he'll be there. Because while you and I vie for first place, we need our third place there with us.
Correct.
That's why we need Diesel there.
We need the guy who can let us measure ourselves against ourselves.
That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and the Founders app, you'll enjoy all the perks of a big bank with local personalized service. If you're looking for low rates, look to Founders. Not a member? Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is very easy. Visit RelaxJoinFounders.com or one of our more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. But services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Voted one of America's top haunts and #1 in South Carolina.
Ow. That hurts.
Spectrum Business delivers the best internet and phone solutions for small business. Switch to Spectrum Business today and get faster internet and advanced phone for less. And with Spectrum Business, there are no contracts, no added phone taxes, and no hidden fees. With just one spray of Microban 24, your hard surfaces are sanitized for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch after touch.
From 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
No time for Twitter.
18 hours.
Yeah.
You're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% bacteria. Touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
By the way, one of the things that I was going to throw up there was the Peacemaker teaser. Have you watched it yet?
I have not.
It's an extended
I didn't
little.
know it came out.
Oh, it just came out today.
Okay.
You need to watch it when you get a chance. It's more like a scene from the show. It's not actually it's unless
good?
you feel like that's being spoiled. Spoiler, because it's from the. It gives you an idea what this show is going to be like. And it's, in my opinion, exactly what I was hoping it was going to be. Especially when you see who's in the scene with them. All right, I'm gonna spoil. Our boy is back.
Yeah.
You know the guys who were making fun of him that were in the control room.
Yeah.
The one dude, it's them.
Love it.
It's them
Love it.
and Cena in a diner.
Love
Cena
it.
walking into a diner,
Love it.
and they're destroying them the entire time. It's great. It really is.
America Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month. With no contract. 5G for only $199. All on America's best.
Man, we need help.
5G phone. Less money. Straight talk
We need help?
No contract.
Oh.
No compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed.
It is sponsored by Lowe's Foods. We did it. Hello at 3619 Pelham Road is now a full-fledged brand spanking chicken.
So we only got like 25 seconds, something like that.
Your local Lowe's Foods is here. Get excited. To take
All right, no Twitter because I'm bad at time management. Just ask anybody who's ever met me. That's going to do it for the show. I'm sitting. Shut up, Lonzo. I'm sitting in for Diesel on Mark Ryan Show till 6. So make sure you hang out with us coming up after this. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Coming up tomorrow on the show, we start looking ahead to next week. Talk a little playoff baseball in depth. I got a preview of every team in the postseason and more. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. For Lonzo, I'm Rob. Later, brother.
This is SportsCenter.